Talk Radio 610 WIOD presents Neil Rogers. To get in touch and talk, call 751 WIOD in Dade, 524 WIOD in Broward, or 655 and 278 WIOD in the Palm Beaches. Other areas may call collect. The opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily those of the station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
Wait a minute. What is this all about? No, seriously, what is this all about? You're looking for a place on the tape? Boy, this place is just psychotic. Now, haven't I show? You come in here 30 seconds before I'm going to go on the air, and you hit me with this psychotic, idiotic crap, and tell Disney to take some no-dos, okay? My God, these people are just incredible. Mind-boggling, shocking. It's 10:06 at WIOD. Good morning. It's wonderful to be here again. I just don't understand. You know, it's got to do with this delay thing again and something that they sent out. I don't have any idea. I do 4 hours in here every day, and she comes in here like I'm going to give her a time that there was something that I don't remember anything that happened yesterday on this show. I remember what happened on Kane's show, which I'm going to be talking about momentarily. Boy, you know, some of you people out there in the audience, if you ever grew up, it would be one of the most incredible miracles in the history of mankind. Now, Steve did have a fairly interesting topic yesterday, although I must say, interspersed, because yesterday was Tuesday, so I was at my mother's, and she had it on in the background doing me a great service so I could really digest my dinner comfortably. And there were like about 8 or 9 feeble attempts, you know, to respond to what I had said yesterday. But the amazing part of it is none of them respond, or did Steve, to what I was really talking about. And that is, you know, the abortion thing and his obsession with it, and the fact that he was ripping Shirley Peters and others who become obsessed with personal hang-ups and let it interfere with their shows, and now he's doing the same thing. See, it's real easy to avoid dealing with something that you can't respond to, so you try to make it into something else, as if we were doing a personal attack here for 4 hours, which we weren't. But after yesterday, I'm definitely giving up. I mean, if Steve wants to do abortion every day, it's his show, more power to him, and if that's what he wants to do, we'll all go down in flames together. You know, what can I say? Anyway, how about those Cubs? I had a whole regular thing to start the show here, and Sharon came in and asked me the most incredibly idiotic question I've ever heard in my life. I've been sitting here for half an hour. Why didn't somebody come and ask me about it before 30 seconds? The theme is playing, okay? The intro to the show is playing, and she comes in and asks me this idiotic question, which I still don't understand what the hell they're talking about. And Disney's busy up there changing his underwear again. Boy, I'm telling you, these people here are just incredible. Just astonishing. I still don't know what you're talking about. Now, who sent the tape to whom? What are you talking about? Well, no, it's easy for you to say now, don't worry about it. I don't know what you're talking about. You come in here, it would be like coming in and taking your clothes off and then running out the door with no explanation, you know. Anyway, it's 10:08 at WIOD. The Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-2 last night. It was another real nail-biter. It was just a traumatic, horrendous, but they still hung on and won. Of course, Montreal continues winning every day, so we're still 3.5 behind. The good news for Cubs fans is, though, that the Pirates beat the Mets 4-2, so the Mets are in third place, and the Cubs are a full game ahead of New York. So that's about, you know, the status of that. Don't ask me about our show Friday morning in Chicago, because I know absolutely no more about it today than I did yesterday or last week or anything. I have no clue, no idea what's going on, which I guess is perfect, because when you were here, you know, when you work in this place, it's fitting that you should have absolutely no idea what's going on. I have a note here from Joe Johnson who says I'm not plugging his show enough on Magic. Okay, Joe's on at 6 p.m. nightly and Monday through Friday. That's Monday through Friday, 7 to midnight on Saturday, okay? Wonderful, Joe. You're doing a great job. But we wish you guys would, you know, knock it off with the ratings, okay? Anyway, one thing about Steve, other than the fact that he has no sense of humor, it's 9 minutes past 10 at WIOD. No, I'm not going to do a big number on that again today, but it just amazes me. Just shocking to me when I hear, for example, he had a guy call in the 5 o'clock hour who said, Steve, I want you to know what Neil did to you this morning was unconscionable. And I called him up and I told him if you want to do abortion 20 times a week, you can. The guy never called the show. There was never any such call to this show, okay? So there were some real desperate buttlickers, and I know every one of you is listening right now. You're not fooling me for a minute, okay? You're all glued to the radio, because you have no lives. And then there was this young Latin guy who called in who claims to be a listener of this show, but on the other hand, loved those old days much better when Steve used to defend himself, and now he's wimping out and he's not defending himself against me and these terrible attacks and how I'm jealous. Boy, it's just amazing when you listen to some of the... First of all, it's just a radio show, okay? Some of you really need to calm down. Maybe you and Disney could get together and go to one of those transcendental meditations. They still do that TM, or is it BM? Maybe they need a BM instead of a TM. I don't know what it is, but boy, some of you people get so hysterical. And I'm not taking back anything that I said yesterday or any time this week since last Friday, whether it's about Steve's show and the abortion thing, which is deadly. And, of course, now he comes up with his, well, it's the lead story on the news, and the governor's called a special session, which probably will be a rationale for doing another 10 shows on it between now and October, you know. But as I said, it's his show. He wants to go down in flames based on an obsession, a personal obsession, with an issue that he's not going to change anybody's mind about. That's up to him. But as far as what I said about the bird and about losing control of this show, I'm telling you, I feel so great this week with him on vacation.
You know, I never realized just being a little bird could be so complicated.
Well, it can be. And he's a wonderful guy. He does a great job. The only thing is he needs to go back into his cage and let me decide what we're going to talk about. And that's what's going to happen when he comes back. It's going to be like the old times again. And I'm not going to sit here and fight for the right to talk about what I want to discuss every day, okay? If I want to talk about the Cubs for the whole show, that's it. Oh, here's the guy I was talking about. Yes.
Yeah, how you doing today?
Great.
All right, listen, I'm the one that called you. I did make a mistake on Steve's show because I called you the day before and I hung up on you.
Oh.
You remember that call?
Yeah, but you didn't tell me what you said on Steve's show, okay? Somehow your imagination is running away with you.
Well, you heard that conversation, right? Did you hear me call you obnoxious?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're still listening today, I noticed, right at the beginning of the show.
Hey, listen, I love to listen to you.
Great. Well, I don't mind. Obnoxious is not a knock to me, okay? If I'm obnoxious, people love that, okay?
Okay, but
that's one of the things about the show they enjoy.
Okay, now listen, why don't you get rid of Bird if you don't like him?
Didn't I just see? There you go again. You're just a professional troublemaker.
Well,
I didn't say I didn't like him. I said he's losing perspective on what his role on the show is.
And you said that he's leading you around because he's easily led.
That's correct.
Like
and I said,
right?
now I'm finally growing some you-know-whats, and I'm taking control again, okay?
Well, why don't you stand up to him on the radio and do what you want to do rather than just...
That's what I just said I'm going to do. That's what I'm just telling you. See, your problem, sir, I think that you have waxy buildup. Do you listen to waxy? Because your ears have this very difficult problem being penetrated.
I think the listeners resent when you do it when these people aren't there. Just like
listen, I do it when he's here every day. The people listen to the show know that every stinking day when Glenn has been here the last month, I say, wait a minute, I thought this was my show. If I want to talk about it, I do it. He doesn't listen, okay? He doesn't pay any attention. And the same with Steve. When Steve butted his way on the show yesterday, I said right to his face exactly the same thing that I'm saying now and that I said yesterday. Okay? So, you again are one of these people who likes to make these wild accusations. You're a professional troublemaker, and you're a great guy. So have a great life, okay? 1013 at WIOD. That took care of him. See, now he's so confused, he doesn't know whether to scream or eat Jarrett's banana in there, okay? Speaking of food, we got one more here.
It's going to be awfully lonesome from here to Pasadena.
Okay, well, he'll be back on Monday, okay? And as I said the other day, that'll be right after he comes back from Vegas, and I'll be coming back from this Chicago thing this weekend. And you'll see what we're going to talk about, okay? I'll be delighted to hear about Vegas. I hope he had a great time or is having a great time, wins a lot of money. But I'm not going to put myself in a position. It's interesting that idiot called up, who's a nice guy but an idiot, from the mobile phone, because this is one of the things I was going to mention. I'm not going to sit here and apologize for my opinions. In other words, I said yesterday and the day before what's on my mind. And if you don't like it, you can stick it in your ear, any of you, especially you paranoid, insecure butt kissers, okay? Boy, I listened to some of that yesterday afternoon. I couldn't believe it. Oh, don't listen to any of that, Steve. He's just, he's jealous, he's insecure. That's not the point. I'm trying to tell a guy something for his own good that's going to benefit all of us because it's tedious and ponderous, and he won't respond directly to that. He comes on with this juvenile thing about how, well, I'm breaking the rules, and I was upset when he had his listeners talk. I didn't invite anybody to call and discuss him yesterday. I did let the calls go. There were a lot of people who called in, and for the first time in a very long time, I let them go. Because I just want to make the point that there are a lot of people out there, the minute he starts with that abortion crap, they're gone. they're gone. And no, I don't believe the book is 100% accurate. I think the whole station got a real screwing in June in the sample. But I do think that there's a problem there, okay? But, boy, don't interfere, man, because I know it all, and I'm going to just plow right ahead. I guess that's his philosophy. And like he said, it's his show, and he's right. So I'm never, ever going to attempt to give any constructive... It's hopeless. Because, like I said the other day, the more you tell some people something, the more they run in the opposite direction to be contrary. It's kind of a juvenile trait in some people. And, for example, that topic yesterday, I'm just going to make this one last comment, okay, and then we'll leave Steve alone. He's got open phones today, so he's got another 4 hours to do whatever he wants. Okay, it's his show. But that thing about, you like this horrible movie, which just because it's a Rob Reiner movie, everybody says how great it is. People who have seen it that I've talked to said it, one for my mother saw it, she said it's mediocre. And I have a friend who saw it who said it's horrendous, pathetic, very disappointing, especially for a Rob Reiner movie. Harry and Douchebag, or whatever this movie is. And the point of the movie is that the guy, Billy Crystal, and a woman are living together with this platonic relationship, and how hard it is, and they're not having sex, et cetera, and so on, although evidently from the previews I've seen, eventually they do. And the point Steve is making is that he's terminally paranoid, although he didn't put it in those terms, about his wife having a close male friend. And all these other paranoid, insecure people are calling in, which I found kind of interesting. I'm not going to show. It's fascinating. Basically saying the same thing. What do you mean he's still there? The same guy? Oh, it's a mobile... Oh, I went into a panic. I thought maybe that same guy was still on the phone. Are you mobile?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, what do you say, Neil?
Okay, what's going on?
There's more than one bird taking a bath the way the Orioles are playing, huh?
Well, what can I tell you? It's been a lot of fun, but we'll see how long it lasts.
Good things. How many days are you going to go on about this?
About what?
Putting the bird back in his place.
How many? As long as I want to. Sir.
Well, it's your show, like you said.
That's right.
Anyway, when you go to Chicago?
Tomorrow afternoon.
All right. You have a good time up there.
First of all, let me ask you a question. Yeah. How long in fact, I only brought that up as a response to the caller.
Yeah.
Didn't the caller bring that up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
Well, that's because he's a D-bag.
And you brought it up.
Well, only because I know you don't have to go about 8 shows about it. We all got the point already.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there are a lot of people out there who think that, like the one idiot says that I don't like him and I want to get rid of him. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, because
but it's like I feel like I've been let out of jail. Don't you understand?
Yeah, I do. But half the audience are morons, like you said.
Well, I think you're being generous.
Well, what can you do? Anyway, have a great show, Neil. I just want to say, Jerry, you're a douchebag.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
See ya. Excellent call. Okay, 1021 at WIOD. What was I talking about before he started in there? I was talking about something. Sally and... Harry and Sally and Bridget and Douchebag, yeah, and the lobster lady. See, that's another one of the differences between Ranieri and Kane, is that Mike's got a sense of humor. Anyway, I really don't want to do another number on Steve for 4 hours today, do I? I do? Well, I got to be honest with you, it's tempting. It really is tempting because he's just so frustrating. He's one of those people that you just like to look in the eye and say, you need a spanking. Of course, he'd probably like that, knowing how kinky he is, but it's just frustrating. You can't tell him anything. He won't listen. He's stubborn. And, of course, Sharon has been through that. Boy, I sympathize with her. Now I understand those closed-door meetings they have in the fax machine room there when they close the door, is screaming and yelling and ripping paper out of the fax machine and having a nervous breakdown. Because she tries to steer him in the right direction, and the harder she steers to one direction, the harder he pulls in the opposite. But anyway, I just couldn't believe all these paranoid, insecure people who are so terrified of their spouse or their girlfriend or boyfriend having a friend of the same sex. I can't believe how insecure. It's like you own somebody, like you want to put them away in an ivory tower somewhere and just separate them from anybody else who might be a threat. Seems to me that's a very unhealthy kind of attitude. Of course, I'm not one of these people that comes on here and does amateur psychology because I'm not qualified to do it. But that never stopped some other people, like Sally Jesse, for example. Counselor without portfolio. I wonder how many of you people, if you were looking for a doctor and you looked in the yellow pages and there was an ad and it said, Joe Schwartz, physician without degree. Okay, would you call that guy? Would you go there for an exam? If you need an attorney, if you had like life and death situation in court, and you need an attorney, would you look in the yellow pages and look for Harry Spiegel, attorney without degree, without qualification? And that's what Sally Jesse is. And she comes on here and hear these desperate people crying and ready to blow their brains out, and like in 2 minutes she gives them this cockeyed, half-assed answer, and then the music starts playing in the background. Well, I'm so sorry, but I certainly wish you the best of luck. And it clicked, and you can just envision them on the other end of the phone slitting their wrist with blood running down the phone cord, and Sally sitting there with her glasses wondering what planet she's on. It's just incredible. That whole business, to me, that's like psychics. These people that give personal advice over the radio, it's like the biggest charlatan game in the history of mankind. And a lot of you people, of course, are suckers. You're idiots, and you call these schleppers on the radio and you want advice. But anyway, it was a good topic, but then it got to the point where it became depressing, because there were a lot of people calling in who were just, it sounded like Sally's show at one point, or Sonia Friedman. And boy, it got morbid, all these people with their problems, and some of them sounded like they were about to break into tears. I just couldn't deal with it. Here's another mobile. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
You're going to Chicago.
Yeah.
How long are you going to be there?
Through Sunday, all weekend.
I have a suggestion for you. I don't know if you've ever eaten there. A place called Morton's.
Great.
It's on Rush at Oak. It is without a doubt the best steaks and/or lobsters in town.
Don't start with those lobsters again, because Ranieri will lose it in the other room.
I'm telling you, it's a fantastic place. They had one down here in Fort Lauderdale, but it doesn't compare. It's the original. And it's absolutely wonderful. I can't more strongly suggest it.
Great.
Have a wonderful
Well, I
time
think that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to the Cubs games, go to Sportsman's Park, and in between I'm going to eat.
Oh, Chicago's the best in the summertime.
Thanks a
Enjoy
lot.
it.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
No, actually, I'm not going to, because today I'm going back on Nutrisystem. So I'm going. My timing in my life is so bad, and now they're dragging me off to Chicago. And I don't want to sound ungrateful about getting to see the Cubs and the Mets, because that's a chance of a lifetime. I've never been to Wrigley Field. I'm a nut Cub fan, as I think most of you should know by now. I mean, just obsessed. But, boy, that show on Friday, I just haven't got any idea what's going on. Let me tell you about WIOD. We're just having a great day. Everybody's in the mood. They're going to call in and tell me what to talk about, what not to talk about. I got news. See, it's not only for the bird. It's the same goes for the audience, too. I'm going to talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. If you don't like it, get lost, okay? Boy, how have I wimped out so badly over these past... go on vacation... And I come back, and now I have an opportunity to really kind of like reassess life. You know what I'm saying? To reassess everything from the show to everything, right down the line. And boy, when you just sit back and you let people kind of overrun you, you got to be nuts. You got to be crazy. Speaking of crazy, there is an amazing article in the Herald 3E on the radio page again today. Boy, the Herald is so on top of what's happening in this market that it's almost frightening, okay? Lourdes Acevedo, and I'm sure that Lourdes is a wonderful young lady, and I've spoken to her in the past, but she has an article that says, New Signal and Style Bring Competition to Country Format, and the first part's about this new station in Key Largo. It's just what we need is another station in the market, WKLG, and they're going country, and they're raising their signal, and the operations manager, what is he? Or whatever the guy is, he's the former station manager for WDNA, the community station. Remember WDNA that has like 10 watts, and Blind Mike used to have a show on there and play those jingles? And then there's a thing in here about WFTL and the new format change, which is going on this week, and it includes a little blurb. I guess this is the same stuff we read on the air, only with an incredible misprint. 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., Norman Elliott Kent. It says... The made as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore, talk show host with guest and open phones. It's supposed to say I'm mad as hell, a la Howard Beale from Network, but it says I'm made as hell. So your personal maid, Norman Elliott Kent, will be hosting 11 to 3 on WFTL. Isn't that incredible? Are you made as hell, Norm? Well, he probably had a bad day in rotisserie baseball yesterday. Troy on the bat line. Is this the real Troy?
Yeah, this is him.
I can't believe it. Did you guys ever get an apartment?
No. Still not.
Are you serial?
Yeah, you got to help us out.
Well, listen, if you'd come... Now, tomorrow we got a lot of food coming in here. You guys, tomorrow's Todd's last day, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you coming in with him?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
If I don't mind?
Yeah.
Now, you got to be kidding me. That was one of the great hours in the history of radio, wasn't it?
That's what I think it was.
Did you have a good time in here?
Had a great time.
And nobody molested you, right?
Nobody molested
me. I mean, some people may have thought about it, but nobody did.
Right.
And you got out of here unscathed. And, well, listen, maybe tomorrow we'll really work on getting you guys a place to live.
Okay, good.
Now, what I don't understand is where have you been living up to now?
Well, I live in Barry. But see, this right now is being paid for.
Oh, wait a minute. In other words, you've been living on campus.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha. And now you like birds, you want to get out on your own and fly, right?
Exactly.
I can relate to it, yeah.
Need to spread my wings, kind of cramping my style, you know?
Yeah, I hear that, yeah. Well, listen, that's great. So tomorrow we got Armadillo Cafe is coming with food, so we'll have lunch for you guys, and you can come in. We'll get you guys an apartment if it's the last thing we do. It'll be tedious and ponderous, but we'll work on it.
I'll tell you what, I got to trade cars with Todd today, so maybe I'll stick my head in the door and, just wave at you or something.
Great, and take your clothes off.
Well, I don't know about
Or
that.
something like that, Great. Well, listen, we'll look for you.
Okay, great.
See you, Troy.
All right, bye.
Fine. That's Troy from Todd and Troy, which is the new morning team on the Magic, by the way. It's 10:30 at WIOD, and we have an open line in Broward. Why do I say we have an open line? We haven't started taking calls yet, have we? We just took some mobile calls. Is it a little warm in the building, perhaps? I don't want to say, just a hair. I don't want to go crazy because, Mitch from production will be in. He'll turn it down to about 40. Let's see. Yeah, it's maybe a couple of degrees. That should pass if I'm down to 68. That should calm him down. He turns it down to about 40, though, and I can't deal with it. That man has got some serious problems. So anyway, we hope you enjoyed hearing from Troy there. I mean, I know it's not the dork lady, and it's not Robin, but it's the best I can do, okay? These are the kind of people who are attracted to this show. These young, great-looking, hot young guys. Okay, here's a Power 96 spy report, and by the way, I want to congratulate Gary Stein at the Sun Sentinel for really taking a great shot at Power 96 for their cheap stunt. That's what he calls it with Oliver North.
You beat me to it, Neil.
Oh, is that what it was going to be?
That's what it is.
Well, that's okay. It was a perfect lead-in for you.
I think that's really funny. I like Tanner's statement. These people are big Ollie North supporters.
Yeah. Well, you talk about pandering to the Cuban community, man. And
oh, God.
Tanner's got some nerve talking about Hot 105 or anybody else in their ethnic audience. He is the worst. He's a worse panderer than even the Herald, and that's almost impossible.
$150,000 to have Ollie North on the morning show?
Yeah, like I'm sure he's going to come down here just to pander to Tanner's right-wing audience.
Oh, and he's such a talent.
Yeah, great talent.
He's like, the next to God.
In fact, he might show up at the Menudo concert.
Oh, boy, that might be great.
In fact, I heard Ranieri taking some shots at the Menudo concert this morning. If he don't want the tickets, I'll take them. Just to see what it's all about,
Yeah, right, Neil. Yeah. I know you. Okay, well, I just want to know if you had read that Gary Stein.
Yeah, hey, listen, we are so on top of it here this week, you have no idea.
Yeah, I like the Kiss My Feet, I'm a Hero tour.
You what?
Well, in the article it says it's called the Ollie 89 Kiss My Feet, I'm a Hero tour.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty funny.
It is hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, maybe when they put him in jail, it'll solve the problem, okay?
They should have.
I know. Okay, have a great day.
Later.
10:33 at WIOD. We do have an open line in Broward now. Yeah, it's starting to cool off a little bit in here. What a start. Boy, Sharon is usually so with it and so together, and she comes in here and she starts. Oh, is this Ollie North? Boy, Roger's got a cart for everything, you know what? He's got carts with people who haven't been born yet.
I never, ever heard about belly buttons.
Really? Well, maybe George Bush ought to take him and sit him on his knee and give him a little lesson or something, huh? Boy, that kid, that Ollie North, man, just in the twilight zone. Here's a call from our favorite city, ladies and gentlemen, Homestead.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm a first-time caller. Before I make my statement, I'd like to say that I appreciate the attentiveness and the courteousness of your producer. He's really on the ball.
Well, whatever you say. No, Roger does a great job. I'm not sure. Just the way you said that, we're a little bit nervous.
No, I'm serious. He really is attentive. The reason I'm calling
attentive?
First, this is my first time I'm calling.
Okay.
The reason I'm calling is because I appreciate the entertainment qualities of the show, the lightheartedness, the tongue-in-cheek aspects of it all.
But
nothing heavy. And then you mentioned BM right off the bat, and that got me thinking of Kane before you even mentioned his name.
Oh, now you're not going to start ripping him, are you?
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, wait a minute. I got a cart for that, too.
Okay.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm perfectly content with Steve having his own show as long as he stays on it and I don't listen to it. I resent the fact that he comes on your show and does commercials and then sits in your studio and irritates the hell out of me. So that
you know whose problem? You know whose fault that is, though?
What's that?
Mine.
Well, I wish you'd stop.
It's part of the... No, I didn't encourage him, but it's part of the same syndrome. In fact, somebody, I don't want to mention any names, but somebody in the building yesterday asked me when I walked out, how come you didn't kick him out of the studio?
Good idea.
And it is a good idea because, let's face it, we just, like I said, there's certain people over the years that I've done crossovers with that I kind of like relate to. You know what I'm saying? In other words, I have a lot of things in common and I relate to them. And Stan was a good friend of mine, but I didn't usually stick around because, I don't know, it just, there just wasn't the chemistry. It was to a certain degree, but not great. But Bill Calder and I hate to keep mentioning this because he's on QAM now doing mornings, and I don't want to get Ranieri upset.
Sure.
But although I love that promo, that country and western promo that Ranieri cut, which is just a stab at Calder, was great.
Yes.
But Bill and I, he's got a great sense of humor, and we just had a certain rapport, and that's why I used to hang out on the show. Not because I didn't have anything to do or I didn't need any sleep, but it just worked out. It was fun and it was funny. Steve is not funny, okay? I mean,
no,
when he's doing his good shows, he can be great entertainment, but he's not funny at all.
His MO carries into your program because he tries to talk over you.
Yeah. Well, that's going to stop.
Okay.
As of today. Trust me.
Have a nice day.
I'm building. In fact, my wrist is getting firmer as you speak. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay. No, he's right. He's absolutely right. See, when I do something right, I'm not saying this to try to be Mr. Humble because that's, then it sounds even worse. But if I do something wrong or something that flops, I'm not beyond saying, hey, this is dying, I'm not going to do it. Like the lightning round, okay, is a classic example. That was a real hot thing for a while, but it ran its course. Trust me, believe me, it got to the point it was horrible. It was awful. It wasn't entertaining. It wasn't funny. It was garbage. And I got rid of it. But there are some people who are just so intractable and so stuck in their ways and who are just like horses with blinders on, man, and you just can't get to them. You just can't get through to them. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm going to stop because it is Steve's show and it's more power to him, and he'll rationalize it away, find 8 million reasons to continue with the abortion thing. I don't care if it's the lead story on the news every day. The fact is, Nicaragua was the lead story in the news every day too, and yet he, just as I did, used to criticize some of the right-wing talk hosts for being obsessed with Nicaragua and talking about nothing else, okay? So just the fact that it's in the newspaper doesn't mean that, especially the demographics that we're looking for, want to hear it every day. Or once a week, even. We have an open line in Broward and one in Boca. I just mentioned that in case. Don't feel like a lot of pressure is building on you. We want to tell you about Toyota of Hollywood. Fat Rich said that the bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. Fat Rich said that the bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. Fat Rich said that the bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. The bird's a liar. Fat Rich said that the bird's a liar. Could you hear it? Could you hear the CD just barely? Because I was just playing a little Tom Dooley in the background, just briefly, because Ranieri mentioned it this morning. Oh, that's right. It was the birthday of one of the Kingston Trio. Which one was it? Oh, no. You couldn't hear the CD? Well, I'll be damned.
This next one tells the story of a Mr. Grayson.
Level is pretty low, isn't it, Roger?
Beautiful woman.
I got it cranked up wide here. Well, that's the way it goes. We don't want to start because then the engineers will come in, and that's the last thing I need today. Anyway, it's 10:41 at WIOD. What was I just going to get into here? I had something like life and death important, and I got let myself get sidetracked. Can't believe I did that. Okay, let's just continue with the calls. It'll come back. West Palm Beach, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing, big guy?
Great, pal.
That's good. Listen, for years I've listened to you, and I'm just recently losing my respect for you.
Great.
And the reason is, I hope you won't cut me short.
No problem. Go ahead. I'll give you at least a half hour.
Okay, for a couple of reasons here.
Yes.
Number one, when you were away, the bird really stuck up for you, and he showed his allegiance and solidarity.
Yeah, solidarity.
Against people who were trying to, give you little shots. And here you are.
Right, well, we're going to send him over to do a show in Poland, as a matter of fact, so that's really good.
Well, anyhow, I'm just surprised that you're bashing him.
I'm not bashing him. I'm expressing... No, wait a minute. You want to have a conversation?
Yes, sir.
All I'm doing is expressing the way I feel about my own show. Okay, can I do that?
You're allowed to do
that. Or do I have to ask your permission and his permission to express it? I'm not saying anything different from when he was here sitting right in that chair, which I've said 1,000 times.
That's true, but it's the way you go about it and your mannerisms. And also, I was surprised that you did bash Joey Reynolds off the air. I mean, you really ripped him heavily when he first came on. You were threatened by his intrusion into your Zeta.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, when Joey
ripped him off the air?
Well, you badmouthed Joey pretty good there initially. And
when?
I was just surprised.
What do you mean off the air? How do you know what I said off the air?
Oh, no, I'm saying you ripped him on the air, and that eventually drove him off the air.
No, it didn't drive him off the air because, in other words, geez, this is another one of these guys who thinks the audience will listen to whatever I tell them to.
Well, you're a man that carries a lot of weight around.
A lot of weight, you're right, and I'm trying to get rid of some of it, okay? I'm like a male Debbie Ellis, okay?
Yeah. How many pounds have you lost in nutrition?
No, let's not go on to how many pounds I've lost. Don't try to change the subject now.
Okay.
I drove Joey Reynolds off the air.
Well, you did.
I'm going to tell you something. Joey Reynolds I like Joey. He's a great guy, but he didn't have any show at all, okay? he had numbers that were so fractional. How come I didn't drive all the other morning people off the air?
Well, you particularly vented heavy...
Oh, I see. Like we didn't talk about Budell?
Yeah, you did, but you did it in a nice way. And
in a nice way?
Well, you did, but with Joe, you named places and people and times that 20 years ago, that he was pretty hard on people. And that was all in the past.
He was pretty hard on people. He only wishes he could be that hard again, sir.
Well, that's true. I guess, you know what, I loved the lightning round last week when somebody said you buzz me if you swallow, Neil. I thought that was a cute one.
That was real original. We've only had it about 30 times.
Well, one of my friends told me the other day.
Great. Well, I hope that got you excited. Did you get excited about that?
Well, I thought
Did you start trembling
cute. I thought it was kind of cute.
And what did I do after he said it?
You buzzed him.
I hit the buzzer, right. Because I wanted to make him happy. I didn't want to disappoint him.
Listen, you provide a lot of entertainment.
No question about it, and it's obvious that this fills a huge void in your life, doesn't it?
You'd be surprised. It takes a lot of time out of my day.
Well, that's good.
But you're well worth it.
Well, I'm glad. You see, you have mixed feelings. In other words, it's kind of a love-hate relationship.
You know, it's where else?
How old are you, sir?
I'm 35.
35. Well, you're a lot too old anyway, so don't worry about it.
How old do I sound?
No, you sound like about 27.
27. Thank you.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, they say
I'm not trying to butter you up or kiss your ass, but you sound younger than 35.
Well, thank you very much.
And you also sound old enough to know better than make this insipid call.
Well, that's true. Listen,
Do you want to apologize for the shot at the beginning of the call?
Well, I don't want to see you hurt the bird like you do.
Hey,
you know what?
Screw the bird, okay? The bird is... Listen, let me say something to you in all honesty, okay?
In all honesty.
The man is making serious money, okay? I mean serious money to come in here and sit and eat and read the paper and cackle on the air and shut up. Now, would you like a job like that for 4 hours a day?
It's increíble.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. And the same goes for you, too. You can walk in for 4 hours a day, you get a free lunch, and you're making double six figures. It's remarkable.
That's correct, and I'm not complaining about it.
I know. I think it's great.
Okay.
Listen, have a good time and keep it up.
If you need a loan, good luck to you. Call Joey. He's doing well.
All right,
He saved all his money. See ya.
All right.
Wow, 10:45 at WIOD. See, he's another one of those guys. Didn't really mean it, but he wanted to give me a hard time because it's more exciting than somebody calling in and kissing your butt. I don't like butt kissers. See, there's a difference between somebody calling in and saying, hey, I really enjoy your show, and then they go right on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have any problem with that. But when somebody calls in and doesn't have anything else to say and just calls in to ingratiate themselves with a host and just kiss ass to the point where where their lips are inverted, then you got a different story, okay? It's not interesting radio. It's boring. In fact, it's embarrassing. Like several of those calls I heard yesterday afternoon. Boy, just embarrassing. And this coming from a guy who's, if you hate me, call in, or if you disagree. The first guy who called in and really disagreed, I'll never forget that call yesterday. It was in a mobile phone, and the guy disagreed on this topic, Steve, which is, like I said, was an interesting topic about people being paranoid about their wife having a close male friend or vice versa. And the guy disagreed, and boy, Steve, he went from a very low register, from just talking calmly, to screaming and yelling and getting hysterical and hung up on the guy and attacked him because the guy disagreed. And I think, quite frankly, the guy had a good point. I mean, if you're that insecure in your relationship, boy, you got a real problem, okay? Now, I realize I'm hardly an expert in that category, but just being objective and looking at it from the outside, if you're that insecure, then I think perhaps it reflects something about you, whoever the person may be. You know what I mean, Steve? Here's a mobile on 8. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Great.
Just one comment I wanted to make. I've been listening yesterday and today. I'm one of those people that calls maybe once or twice a month, but listens pretty regularly. It's good to hear you talk the way that you do, because I think people are losing sight of one major thing. When you were over at INZ, I started to listen to Stan because you were there, and I happened to like it. When you came over to IOD, I listened to Kane because he followed you, and I didn't like it. Why I don't like him is academic. I just don't like him and don't listen to him. And I think a lot of people are losing sight of the fact that this is the Neil Rogers program.
Exactly.
And if they don't
That's my point.
That if they don't like the Neil Rogers program, if you go into a store and you don't like what's there, you don't go back. You don't go up to the manager and start changing your stock and change this and change that.
Exactly. Very good analogy.
And that's all I wanted to say. I happen to like you because whether I agree with you or disagree with you, I do listen to you and find you entertaining, and whether you're talking...
All right, now don't go too far, because then you'll be a butt kisser.
But that's the only thing I wanted to say. I like Glenn. I think Glenn is great, but it's not the Glenn Hill show. I think Glenn is a wonderful playoff to you. But it is your show, and the reason the ratings are so high and the reason people listen is because it is your show, and no matter what you're doing, it's a personality that's entertaining. And that's the way it's going to be. So take control back if you feel that you have to. Keep up the work. And there's a whole bunch of us out here listening that love it, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, a real butt kisser. But he was a good guy, but a tremendous butt kiss right there. News talk. See, that's the cart that Nick got out yesterday that the guy was talking about. I don't go for that, okay? It's not Neil Rogers and Glenn Hill, okay? It's the Neil Rogers show with the bird, right? That's what it is. Now, Boy Gary evidently orchestrated or scripted that particular program, because certainly Scott wouldn't make that up as he goes along, because they write it out for him. So even in the building, inside, some people are beginning to lose perspective of whose show it is, okay? It's 10:48.
Hill is taking the day off today. Glenn Hill is in. To get in touch and talk, call 751-WIOD in Dade, 524-WIOD in Broward, or 655 and 278-WIOD in the Palm Beaches. The opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers are not necessarily those of the station. Now, here's Glenn Hill on News Talk Radio 610, WIOD.
It's going to be awfully lonesome from here to Pasadena.
Okay, it's 10:49, 11 before 11. You know, and I know that the people who hate my guts, who listen religiously every day, are saying, well, see, the minute Glenn's gone, he's paranoid, he's jealous, he's insecure. It's got nothing to do with it. What it has to do with, how would Johnny Carson feel if he sat down after his monologue, or even during his monologue, he started talking, and McMahon from the sidelines, who's busy with his divorce right now, but evidently had time to butt in, and started interrupting and saying, hey, we don't want to talk about that tonight. That's boring. How long do you think that would last, okay? The Budweiser Clydesdales would be dragging Ed off in a sleigh, okay? Never to be seen again. It's 10 before 11 at WIOD. How about those Cubs, huh? Another incredible game last night. See, I can say that now. I don't have to put up with any crap. And then Mitch Williams came in, boy, and it looked for sure like they were going to blow that game, especially when he brought in Schiraldi in the seventh inning. Calvin Schiraldi, I'm sure, is a wonderful guy, never stole a freight train, but, boy, he is just deadly. Deadly. He comes in and always walks the first guy. I mean, no matter what the situation is, he walks the first guy. And but I don't want to go into detail because some of you people really get upset, especially the women out there, right? You're the ones that hate the sports. Am I correct? Oh, also, I heard another incredible thing I learned on the Kane show yesterday. Steve said, well, that's Neil's shtick. He rips everybody, even his friends. He said Hank Goldberg is his best friend, and he even rips Hank on the air. Hank is my best friend? I hardly know Hank, okay? I've seen Hank in my life maybe 10 times. I run into him at the track. I consider him a friend, but only in the sense of, like, in the business kind of friend, and we work together here. I don't ever see Hank. I had lunch with him once, and that's when he sat here in the studio, and we pigged out on the bird's birthday that day. But according to Steve again, Hank is my best friend. Boy, you get some great information on that show, no question about it. I've always said there's a lot to be said for consistency, and one thing about this place, man, it is so consistent. For example, another thing I did learn on Steve's show yesterday, there was a promo that they played for a new thing that Chuck Meyer is doing on Saturday morning. And I don't remember the name of it, but we don't have a memo about it. Nobody has told us about it. We could be talking about that, okay, but we know nothing about it. They're always talking about cross-promotion and promoting the rest of the radio station. Is it on there? Oh, it's on here now? Where? Oh, yeah, at the bottom of the page. Yeah, I don't even ever read that stuff, okay? The 610 Weekend Magazine gets underway this Saturday. Well, first of all, none of us have any idea what that is because nobody's talked to us about it. They are so lax, man. They cannot communicate in this building. They cannot communicate. It's like hit and miss. It's like people pass each other in the hallway. Oh, by the way, don't forget, we're selling the building tomorrow morning at 3. We're going to be broadcasting from the Hyatt starting next Monday. I mean, with all the paperwork and all the memos and all the 85 names at the bottom of every page, you'd think that somebody would know what was going on. Anyway, Chuck Meyer, by the way, we are really very pleased to have Chuck Meyer here at WIOD. He is an outstanding news guy, sounds great on the air. He's a good guy, and he's a real honest-to-goodness news person, which is frightening, okay? And anyway, what does it say? Chuck Meyer brings you the latest news, weather, and sports, plus updates on what's hot and what's happening in South Florida. And that starts this Saturday from 6 to 10 a.m. Now, what does that replace? Does that replace the plant guy or the plant guy? And whatever else. Wait a minute. And the antique guy? Oh, great. Boy, see, I told you some good things are finally happening, but it would be nice if they would tell us, you know what I'm saying, so we could talk about it on the air. Since we have this gigantic, humongous audience, most of whom think that the weekends have been embarrassing on WIOD, and will be delighted to know that at least there's going to be something a little bit different. Now, if they can just get rid of those awful, insipid tapes that they keep running, like Saturday from 10 to 2, then we'll have something. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make, I guess, 3 statements on different subjects. The first one, I think now maybe Steve knows how Joe Sagaki felt when he did that show ripping him. Do you remember?
Yeah, he did. He did a whole show ripping Sagaki. I had forgotten that. Yeah.
I guess the shoe's on the other foot now.
Well, no, but you see, now you're playing into his hands, though. I wasn't ripping him personally. All I was doing, and I said it right to his face when he came in here, was repeating what we've said all the time, only more emphatically, and the audience was calling in and discussing it, that these chronic guests, the Ellis Rubins and the Bob Kunst of the world, are a tune-out, okay? I believe that. Sure. Nobody will ever convince me otherwise, and the abortion thing is terminal. Terminal.
No, I agree with you, but what I meant is he's starting to get the same effect, though. It didn't start the same way, but he's starting to get sort of the same feeling that perhaps Zagaki had when when the whole thing happened. Another thing, you had a caller who, I guess it was a mobile caller, the one that you said that you made the statement about kissing ass until their lips turn inside out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 names came to my mind at that time. Rick Weaver and Joe Robbie, but I don't know.
Oh, geez. Now, see, now you're going to start on a whole station. Man, it's incredible.
No, I mean,
I'm not going to debate that point, but, I mean, let's,
No, I'm going to leave it at that.
Ease up a little bit.
Okay. And last thing is, can you imagine this? Steve Kane coming up for a commercial saying, "Hello, this is Steve Kane for Burger King," and doing the rest of the thing.
Somehow I missed that. I don't get it.
Well, he does all his promos for restaurants, and he tries to make the listener drool.
No, he does a great job on restaurant. He does a very effective job on restaurant, Spot.
Well,
we have a lot more restaurants on this show, but that's another story. No, he really does.
I don't know. I went to that fondue place. I didn't like it.
Well, that one. I mean, listen. What can he do for that place? Okay. When you're doing a subpar, second-rate, substandard rip-off imitation place, there's not much he can do for that. But although he's helping him, he's getting him more business. So that's quite an accomplishment, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's accomplishing what they want.
I would say that's almost a miracle in that case.
Yep.
Okay,
Anyway, I enjoy your show.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
See ya. Okay, there's a guy who wants to rip everybody. I don't like these guys that want to rip people, okay? We have an open line in Dade at 7-5. That's another thing I found amusing yesterday. Well, Neil, all he does is rip people. Of course, that's what this show is. That's about 80% of the show. It's just a radio show. I rip Stan on the show all the time. I say that he had no show, which of course is true, but I mean, I rip it, and he's a great friend of mine, okay? But he doesn't get upset about it. He doesn't get hysterical and behave like a child. He's just grateful that anybody still remembers his name and talks about him, okay? And with good reason. Anyway, that's going to do it for this hour, and when we come back, we'll continue on Rip and Read Radio. And then Steve has open phones again today. Now, the promo sheet says we have no idea what he's going to talk about, but it will not be abortion, with several exclamation points, okay? Can we hold our collective breaths and pray and hope? Sports talk with my best friend, Hank Goldberg, tonight at 6 o'clock. And then the Yankees at Cleveland, Yankee baseball, I guess, at 7:30. No time on here, but we assume right around 7:30 for those who are desperate enough to give it a shot. Henry Barrow's got the 11 o'clock news, and we'll be back at 11:05.
Or 655 and 278 WIOD in the Palm Beaches. Other areas may call collect. The opinions expressed by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily those of the station. Now, here's Neil Rogers on News Talk Radio 610 WIOD.
Oh, is this going to be some weekend, boy? It's going to be great. Anyway, it's 11:05 already. Look at this, and here we are back again. Just like a bad dream that keeps recurring and coming back over and over again, okay? And all you people out there that called in Steve yesterday and were whining like infants, like little children, I know every one of you is listening right now, okay? So get your rattle and your pail and your shovel and have a marvelous day. Oh, you used to stand up to him, Steve. He used to be so great. I guess that one young Latin guy that called, who sounded like a fairly intelligent, rational guy, who was making all those comments, I guess his machismo was somehow being threatened. You know how fragile the macho images of Latin young guys are. And I guess his ego, his macho ego was being threatened by the fact that he perceived that Steve was wimping out. And look at this. Here's Wayne Arnold again with those little burgers. You know, I'm going to try to restrain myself because Wings Plus and Arnold's are both coming in here today. In fact, Wayne is here right now. And I'm just going to have to be real careful about, you know, because I'm going back on Nutrisystem. Wayne, you do understand that, don't you?
Very simple.
You made it real simple. We're low-cal. Is that it? Okay. It's 11:07 at WIOD. Boy, this is going to require such incredible willpower. He's just got boxes and boxes. And ice for the soda. Boy, you're a hell of a guy, Wayne. You just continue. In fact, Ranieri the other day, the whole crowd in the morning was just going nuts. He brought in enough breakfast for the Soviet troops in Europe, okay? I mean, it was just incredible. Thank you, Wayne. To get it cleaned up or else. Yeah, I told them the same thing, and they laughed at me. We had little Tommy Denenberg was working feverishly to make sure we're trying to get him to clean up his act, too. Okay, 11:07, WIOD. Steve has open phones this afternoon. My best friend in the world, Hank Goldberg on Sports Talk, Yankee Baseball with the Indians at 7:30. Hollywood, hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
How you doing?
Great.
4 days without the bird. It's fantastic.
Hey, I'm having a great time. I mean, you know, I guess we all need a change of pace every now and then.
Absolutely. No more cackling, no more throwing.
Well, no, the cackling I enjoy. I mean, I disagree with you on that. I like the cackling. That's what he does best, and that's what we pay him for.
Throwing things against the walls. And
no, that I don't like. That I'm not. I mean, once in a great while. See, when it used to be fun is it used to happen only once in a very great while, and he'd lose it, and he'd start throwing things and get red in the face, and then it was funny. It was really funny as hell, like the day Alan came in on Zeta on the morning show.
Yeah.
And he just went nuts, and it was funny. But when it starts happening every day because he's losing it and getting surly, then it just it doesn't make it.
It really
Thank you, Wayne.
It really gets pathetic.
Yeah, pathetic is the word. Come on now, guys. You want the newsroom is looking because they know I'm not supposed to be eating these.
But you know, I think I had maybe a little suggestion of what we could do if he gets a little out of hand. You know, maybe we could send him over to Steve one day.
What's that?
Maybe we could send him over to Steve's show one day.
Yeah, that would be interesting. In fact, I think Steve does need a sidekick, okay? Maybe we should take a poll on that, and I could loan him out for a few months.
Yeah, and then maybe he could go to Alice and maybe Sandy.
No, let's not do that to the bird. He's still a good guy. We don't want to do that to him. Well, you're only going to take one? You don't want any? Oh, this Jarrett. Boy, you are just such a maniac, you know?
What you can do, eat them all?
He's just into these bananas. Every time you look at him, he's got a banana in his mouth. This guy is just, what are you, a monkey or a human? Boy, it's the only Jewish monkey I've ever seen in my life. Go ahead, sir.
I guess so. You know, it's nice to call up and you can talk about the Cubs or whatever you want to talk about. You know.
Exactly. And I know I'm repeating it, and it's getting repetitious, and some people are starting to puke all over themselves, but I just can't believe it. Like I said, it's like being let out of death row, and they just open up the door, say, hey, we made a mistake, you're free, and you're walking around on the streets and breathing the fresh air, and all of a sudden you realize how great it is.
Absolutely. The one thing
I can't sit here and fight with him every day for 4 hours every time I want to just... And then it can be like in the middle of the show, and some really good caller, some nice caller out there call in, good intentions, good voice, sounding like a human being, perfect demographic, and they'll call and say, boy, that Mitch Williams, it's incredible, 25 cents. And right away, oh, geez, not now. Sports Talk begins at 6 o'clock. It's all red in the face and purple and hysterical and hostile. I don't want to talk about tennis.
That's right, but it's the Neil Rogers.
I don't give a damn about Gabriella Sabatini's boobs. I don't care, okay?
That's right, but it's the Neil Rogers show. It's not the Bird show.
I don't even give a damn about Stefan Edberg and whether he's good looking or not. I don't care what he looks like.
Yeah.
I just wish they'd take all that crap and send it back where it came from.
Absolutely. I was watching Letterman the other night, and his wonderful Phoebe was on.
Yeah.
She's nothing great.
No, she's really not. She's really not. In fact, that whole thing about boyish and goyish, I don't understand what that means. In other words, if I were so inclined, I mean, I can see a beautiful woman from a mile away, okay? I mean, I can spot beautiful people no matter what they happen to be. And she's okay, but she's got breasts like kumquats, I would say. I mean, they're really not all that great.
No.
And she's like a little boy.
She definitely looks like a boy, I'll tell you. I don't see anything great about her or anything like that.
No.
You know, but
I mean, you could go into Broward Mall and sit there in the food court and in a half an hour see 50 much more attractive young women than Phoebe Cates.
I agree with
without even trying to look hard.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, listen, have a wonderful life, and we'll survive.
Okay, now.
See you.
Bye.
Okay, it's 11 past 11 at WIOD. I haven't yet opened any of these, and he's got 2 boxes of these little cheeseburgers sitting here. I don't know whether to scream or eat a banana, you know what? Now, if Jared would bring his banana back in here, that would solve my problem. Anyway, it's 11. Really, I'm serious. He thinks he's a monkey. He keeps eating those bananas all day. I came in this morning. He was down in the cafeteria with a banana in his mouth. The guy's incredible. He's a monkey. Okay, we have an open line in Palm Beach. He ought to be over at GTR, not on this station. He ought to be over with the other animals there. 655 WIOD in Palm Beach. Yes, please, Cheryl. Would you please, you want with bacon or without? Well, this is more trafe than this. But so you'll have one that's just got meat and cheese, which is nice kosher sandwich for a nice Jewish girl like you. Here's a mobile caller in Broward. Oh, wait a minute, you're still there, right?
Still here, Steve.
See, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that fit right in, yeah. I don't know what's going on any more than you do, sir.
I'll tell you what, I listened to Stan because of your show, and I started listening to Steve because of your show.
Right.
Because it followed. Never again. The guy, you can't argue with the guy intelligently. You can't be articulate with the guy.
Oh, you're the guy that called up yesterday, and quite frankly, I thought you had a very good point. I don't think you were being unreasonable, and he jumped all over you and started screaming, got hysterical, and hung up on you.
Right, I wasn't rude to him, and I wasn't raising my voice.
No, I think you had a very valid point, and that is that anybody is so insecure that if their wife has a male friend, and you notice how it graduated from a friend in the beginning to best friend. I don't think that was the point. Obviously the husband should be the best friend of the wife, or, vice versa.
You notice he never wanted to talk about, he said this wasn't an issue of sex, okay? He never wanted to talk about the sex.
Well, of course it is.
And the point that
if it weren't for the sexual part, then there wouldn't be any paranoia.
That's right. The point I was trying to make to him is that in my current marriage, my wife doesn't like my having relationships with women who I had a sexual relationship with before. But if I didn't have a sexual relationship with them before, then that's fine.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. That doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that out.
No, that's pretty, it wouldn't matter if it was a man or a woman. He must be so terribly insecure. Which
evidently.
He admitted so many things yesterday, about that he cheated on Lori.
Well, he's talked about that. He's been open about that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, which is fine. His honesty is admirable, but his the way he treats people, the rudeness and he gets.
Well, listen. Let me say this to you. Very often, there's a reason to do that. Okay, like when he does it often, and when I do it, I think all of the time somebody provokes you into doing it. But your call, I was kind of shocked because really all you were doing was disagreeing.
Right. Well, the best.
And I didn't think you were being unreasonable.
Right. The best defense is an offense, I guess.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't take. If anyone has a point of view that's different than his, then he goes off on his crazy.
Well, it's his show, sir. Like you said, he has an excellent point. It's his show, and if he wants to go down like the Titanic, that's up to him. Okay, I'm not going to interfere.
Right, and it's my choice not to listen to him anymore.
Okay, well, you will. You'll be listening.
I won't listen.
Yeah, you will. Come on, you know you will.
You want to bet?
Okay, well, we'll see.
I won't, because it's a waste of my time to be insulted that way.
Well,
not that I'm taking it personally, mind you.
Listen, a little bit of masochism can't be all bad.
Yeah, well, once in a while.
Okay, there you go. Have a great day.
All right.
See, we finally brought him around a little bit. He'll be listening every day. It's 11:19 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward and one in Palm Beach, and we're trying. I don't know. This is kind of like a pre-leaving for Chicago. I will be here tomorrow morning, but then tomorrow afternoon we're all leaving, and I do mean like almost everybody. They got about 700 people going on this trip, and it's going to be. I don't know. They still have told me nothing. I still don't know about anybody bringing copy up there. I mentioned to Cheryl, who's Disney's secretary, who's just a wonderful person. I mean, Cheryl, that is. I said, has anybody thought about it? And I rattled off all these different things, and like nobody is even thinking about it. Because first of all, they don't understand what it takes to do the show anyway. So, that, as far as the spots, they'll probably bring a log, and then they'll think, well, Neil's got all the copy. Well, Neil don't have copy. It's all in this file. So Laura's going to have to make copies of all of this, or we're going to have to put the book together, or something's going to have to happen. But nobody is thinking about these things. Now, little Tommy Denenberg is thinking about them, which is why he's pacing the floor nervously, like he's about to give birth to an orangutan or something, and he's just having a fit, and he'll straighten them all out. See, these are the people inside the building who straighten these problems out, not the upper-level management, because they haven't got a clue, not a remote idea as to what it takes to do these shows, which is why they're in management. Here's a mobile on the Palm Beach line. Hello.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, did you see the mic?
Wait a minute. Can I ask you a question?
What?
What street are you driving on?
I-95.
You're driving on I-95?
Yeah.
Have you got pillows or a phone book under you?
Actually, I'm with my dad.
Oh, you're with your dad.
Okay.
Is he enjoying your driving?
Yeah.
Good. Well, your dad's a hell of a guy. Got a lot of guts.
Yeah.
How old are you?
6.
6? Oh, that's no problem. If you're 6, man, you can drive in this town. 6 or 106, no problem.
Yeah, okay.
Have you got like a beginner's license?
Yeah, learner's permit.
Great. Okay, so what's the question?
Did you see the Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks fight?
Michael Spinks?
Yeah.
That Egyptian guy? No, I don't watch boxing. It's barbaric and disgusting and for morons. I don't watch it. Did you?
Well, I looked at all human.
You
I
what?
don't understand it. You survive.
What? What did he say? Couldn't understand a word he was saying, which is a shame because I think it was a really intellectual call. 21 past 11. Wasn't that the fight that lasted 30 seconds? Huh? Tyson won in 30 seconds, knocked him out? I didn't watch it. I heard about it. 93 seconds? Well, of course, in a fight like that, many of the people who've paid enormous money to see the fight aren't even in their seats yet, and they sit down and it's over with. Can you imagine how pissed you would be if you spent... Of course, the tickets are incredibly expensive, and also at all these different places where they go and they pay in the different theaters and so on, and you pay like 50 or 20 or $100 to get a great ticket right at ringside, and you sit down and it's over with. Boy, I would be apoplectic. I'd be hysterical. It would be like going to the Cubs game at Wrigley Field on Friday after the show, and like it's the bottom of the first inning, they say, well, we just changed the rules. This is all we're playing. The game's over, okay? The Mets got a run in the first inning, and the game is over. Some stupid thing like that. Anyway, how about that Paul Kilgus, huh? What a shock. Now, the guy who called in yesterday of little faith, that Cub fan who assumed we were going to lose last night, didn't I have a lot of faith in Kilgus? Didn't I say there's no problem? No, I didn't say that. I said forfeit. Well, he pitched a pretty damn good ball game last night. Now, Calvin Schiraldi, that was another story. But we don't want to go into that because then we'll get a call from Vegas on the bat line. And somebody we know will be having a nervous breakdown. Do we still have that tape of his that he left? Put this together before he went away.
You know, I never realized just being a little bird could be so complicated.
Yeah. Well, get used to it. 23 past 11 at WIOD.
Hello, lady.
Oh, boy. 27 past 11. I knew there was something we'd be missing in a long time, right? It's got to be at least 3 days we haven't heard from Douchebag down there at Kendall. But, of course, filling in for him today, here's Evan.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Listen, I don't know if this was brought up or not, but one of the things that I noticed, especially since your Zeta days, is all the recognition that you fought for Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, trying to get him to be paid to go out to the...
You bet. As a matter of fact, about a month ago, I told him that I'm not doing any more remotes unless he's part of it, unless he gets paid for it because he's part of the show.
Right. You know, so it's like you
I don't want to sound like Mr. Prima Donna, but no, I have fought for him, no question about it.
Right. You know, you fought like crazy to get him to go out to the remotes. Yeah, that's, with him being part of the show.
After his performance at Toyota of Hollywood last time, I may not have done the right thing, you know.
I think some of that might have gone to his head, though. I think that's like... I like Glenn's a great guy on and off the air.
Don't waffle now. I mean, you have something to say, and if you want to take a shot, go ahead.
Oh, it's not that I'm taking a shot.
He's not here to defend himself anyway.
I just think that some of that went to his head. That he feels that he's a bigger part of the show now than he was, say, 2 years ago.
No question about it. No question.
And that might be part of the reason that he's like, starts to like partially control the show. Yeah, it was funny when he started throwing a fit at Zeta.
Yeah, the day that Alan was there.
Right, but...
That was hysterical. Only it would have been better. It was kind of like the swimsuit show. It would have been more meaningful on television if you could have seen it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it was incredible.
I don't know why... where he gets off trying to throw... he throws a fit every day when you talk about the Cubs.
Or anything. If somebody from upstate New York calls, oh, geez, are we going to have to go through this and all that? And the fact is, there happen to be, I hate to break the news to anybody, but there happen to be a lot more people living in South Florida from upstate New York than there are from Lakeland.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to which, I don't care if he's from Lakeland. It's not his show. I mean, here I am repeating these things again. But I tell him these things on the air and off the air, and it isn't sinking in. So I figure if while he's away, at least for a period of the show every day, I rip him a little bit and convey this. His good people like Johnny Dark, I'm sure, will be on the phone with him. They'll be huddled together in conference, and I hope so, because he's a great guy. But I'm just trying to find some way to bring him back to earth.
Yes, somebody should play some tapes for him from last year's shows.
Well, I don't want to go that far.
No, it's this time of year last year. Every day when you came on, every morning, you spent, like, the first half hour talking about the standings, and you went through all the baseball scores, and who got injured, and what's going on trade-wise. You're not spending 1/3 of the time on sports now as you did then, and he wasn't as early before.
Yeah. Well, that's because, like you said, he thinks that we're going to talk about what's of interest to him, and he's going to kind of set the agenda for the show, and that's never going to happen again. Trust me.
Yeah, and let me add to this, tell you I've turned both my parents into Neelys.
Really?
And I've got my bird saying I'm dying over here.
Your bird is speaking now,
My bird is speaking.
Well, don't let that get around the neighborhood.
So, you have a nice day. And
Okay.
I'm going to keep it short and to the point so I don't become ponderous.
Yeah, keep it short.
And
I can relate to that, Evan.
That's right.
Okay.
It was nice talking to me.
See ya. 11:30 at WIOD. We're kind of agonizing together here, setting the agenda for the rest of the human race. And there's two little Royal Castle burgers here. I had two. I'm, reporting to you very well. Listen, they're great, very honestly and very directly. But I'm not having any more. Okay, that's it. That's my lunch. Now, was that pretty good? When there were two boxes full, and I made sure that everybody came in here and grabbed them up. But there are two sitting here, and they're going to start getting cold and mushy. And that's going to really frost my ass because these are too good to go to waste. Now, would you like any more? You had your little bag, huh? Well, I don't see any great run. And then, of course, when Jared comes in from the newsroom and he gives me the song and a dance, he doesn't eat red meat. I mean, that's embarrassing, okay? Doesn't eat red meat. Just eats bananas. He just eats bananas and strawberries all day, I guess. What a incredible guy. Okay, we have an open line in Broward, 655 WIOD. Let's go to Miami. Hello.
Oh, Willie. Oh, Willie. Oh, Willie. Oh, Willie. 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 Oh, Willie. You're a great guy, Willie. You're a great guy, Willie. You're
terrific. There you go, Chuck. No problem. Please, please. I'm begging you. Get him out of here. Okay, we do have an open line in Dade where Captain Psychotic just hung up, 751-9463, 751-WIOD. Fort Lauderdale. Oh, that's the wrong one, but I'll take you anyway, okay? I think. Oh, they're gone? Like I said, see, when you take the wrong one out of order, that happens. Miami, hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
I'm really jealous of you going up to that to Chicago for those 3 games.
I don't know if my nerves can handle it.
Oh, it's good.
It's one thing to watch on TV because you can kind of get up and walk out of the room and wrench your hands, but when you're sitting right there in the ballpark, if the games are like the last 2 nights, I don't know if I can deal with the whole weekend.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great, though. There's nothing like Wrigley Field. You've never been there before?
No.
It's fantastic. What a great place. My sister used to know the ticket manager, and he used to get us seats right up in front by the dugouts. Doc Ellis, remember him?
Sure, I sure do.
He was fondling my niece's calf one night when she was about 13 years old.
Doc Ellis was fondling your little niece?
Yeah, she had her foot up on the edge of the dugout, and he came by and reached over and was squeezing her calf. And
he was a great comedian, that Doc Ellis.
She went into shock. She was not the same ever. You haven't mentioned about going to Arlington Park while you're up there.
Well, no, we can't go to Arlington Park because we're going to go to all the Cubs-Mets games, and they're all going to be afternoon games, so... Arlington runs in the afternoon.
That's too bad because I understand they really put that place back together.
Yeah. Well, no, on the satellite, I see the racing from Arlington, and they have. It's just incredible. They did a great job.
Yeah, they spent, everybody wanted him to, everybody had a plan for that guy to, put up office buildings or apartments or something. And he said no. He took all the money that he got back and, pushed it right back into making it a, real great facility.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm going to go up to Sportsman's because that's my number one love anyways, the Trotters. And that'll work out just great. We can see the Cubs in the daytime and plunge our brains out at Sportsman's at night.
Well, I'm going to be going up there in the fall, but it looks like unless the Cubs are in the World Series, I'm not going to get a chance to see them. And,
well, it could happen. Stranger things have happened. Montreal can't win every day.
No matter what they say.
And they can't play. And they can't play the Phillies and the Pirates every day either.
They can't play them forever.
Right.
That's right. Did you see that game on Saturday against the Giants when Girardi scored? I guess it was the 3rd run of the game.
No, I didn't see. I was at the track, and all I saw was the last inning and a half. So I didn't see the rest of the game. I saw Vance Law hit his 2nd home run.
I put it on videotape, and I was, you can fast forward through the stupid announcers that way. And he's going down, after he scored, they show him walking down the dugout giving high fives. And Rick Sutcliffe comes by, and he goes to give him a high five, and he can't reach his hand. So Girardi's jumping up to get Sutcliffe's hand.
Yeah.
It was pretty cute.
Well, these guys that, I noticed the shortstop, what's his name? I can't think of his name now. Ramos.
Yeah, Domingo Ramos.
Pinch hit last night, got a base hit, and Girardi's, they haven't hit for big average, but when they've been called upon, they've had to play. They've done a hell of a job.
It was like when they came back from 3 down.
Yeah. I still can't get over that. And, of course, last night, I don't know if anybody watched the game if you got GN, but Sean Dunston, in addition to having a tremendous home run, he's just killing the Cardinals this year. He made 2 plays, one in particular that was impossible. He threw the ball in midair on one bounce to McClendon, and I never seen him play like it in my life. When he's hot, which isn't often, but he is right now.
If they could just get his head screwed on a little straighter.
If he just stopped swinging at so many bad pitches.
Well, he's walked 21 times this year. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and only 18 of them intentional. Okay, listen, have a great day, and we'll be reporting Friday.
Okay, bye-bye.
See ya. Well, look at this. We're going to have to take a break, but we have a very important celebrity caller on the Palm Beach line, Collect.
Yep, it's me again.
Wow, from Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah, from Sleepaway Camp.
Well, that's great. You just hold on a second now and hang on to it, and we'll be right back to you.
All right.
Okay, that's Stem from Sleepaway Camp, a real celebrity in his own mind. 11:35 at WIOD, and also a Mets fan, too, by the way. Probably shouldn't mention that. Speaking of sports, okay, 21 till noon at WIOD. And, of course, our next caller would like to make a little announcement before we officially begin the call.
I have no life.
Yeah, we knew that. Hello.
I didn't say that. That wasn't me. I swear.
Sounded like you.
What's up?
So how's Sleepaway Camp, Stem?
It's great.
Boy.
Yeah,
how's all that royalty you were telling us about last week?
Oh, they're still royalty.
Still flitting around, huh?
Still queen. Still queen. So what's going on down there?
No, not too much. We're getting ready to go to Chicago tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard. Where's the bird?
I'm meeting the last Earl Castleberg. He's on vacation. I'm having a great week.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we're talking sports and whatever the hell we want, and nobody's throwing a tantrum or interrupting. It's great.
Yeah, you got to cut out the Cubs calls, though. It's pretty boring. Talk about the Mets all you want, but the Cubs, forget it.
Let me hear you. 0-1.
All right, okay, I get it. I get the picture.
I'll let him sing the whole thing if you don't want you to take up all your time.
Like I said, I'll be a good boy.
From this very impotent call.
Yeah, did you get the message I called your house the other day?
Yeah, your voice was on my answering machine. We erased it immediately.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, I'll call you later on tonight, too.
Will ya?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting, boy. I'll step. Of course, the Cubs game will be on, so it'll give me like a little break.
Well, I'll call you correct, too.
I'll bet you will, yeah.
Yeah.
So how's things pretty exciting up there?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's an acting camp and stuff, and there's some famous people been up here, too.
Like?
Like, this guy, you ever heard of Josh Charles?
No.
He's in Dead Poet Society.
Never heard of him.
And Robert Downey Jr. was up here?
No.
Yeah, you've heard of him. Give me that.
I heard of Morton Downey Jr.
Well, it's his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just a bunch of people like that,
And so, like, do you get the Mets games up there?
Well, some of them.
Like the one last night where they lost to the Pirates 4-2?
That's beside the point.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get that one.
Oh, that's too bad. It was a hell of a game.
Yeah, I bet.
Look at this. Wings Plus just stopped in with, oh, my God, with a bag in a box. I can't believe it.
A bag in the box?
A bag in the box. It's
Cool
like a
deal.
boon in the box.
Cool deal.
Wow.
Yeah. So
well, maybe we can get Jarrett to eat some of this. Look at that. A few mushrooms.
So when are you going to Wrigley, tomorrow?
We're leaving tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be there in time for Friday morning show, which is going to be an abortion. In fact, Steve can probably do a week on it because abortion's his favorite subject still.
Of course.
And then we're going to see all 3 games, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And you coming home Monday?
And let's see, Maddox will be pitching Friday and Bilecki on Saturday, and then, of course, Kilgus on Sunday, which originally I was planning on leaving early, but after last night we may have a chance.
Yeah, well, I guess Cone pitches against him Sunday.
Great. And how about David West? Do we get him?
No.
What a bad break.
He's out of the starting rotation.
Well, listen, he could never too late to change your mind.
They're on a 4-man rotation now.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, they're just kicking ass.
Mm-hmm. They're really doing it. They looked awesome last night.
Well, except for last night.
Yeah.
Everything, little mistakes happen, but you know how it is.
You know how it is with those little things. Certainly you can relate to that.
Exactly.
Okay, well, listen, have a great time, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, can you leave me on hold for about 10 minutes?
Sure, no problem. Like it said on the card.
I have no life.
Right. 11:42. Wings Plus is here with just a disgusting amount of food. I can't believe it. And, well, let's see. He doesn't eat red meat. Jared certainly will eat the chicken wings then, right? Because that's not red meat. Not that I'm obsessed with trying to feed him, but he came in yesterday, was giving me a song and a dance about how he's bloated up from drinking soda. I'm getting the feeling that he's one of these nuts, one of these health nuts. I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating healthy, but he's like obsessed. Life is more than just a banana, you know what I mean, Jared? And maybe there'll be some other people in the newsroom. Maybe even Troy will stop by in time to enjoy some of this incredible chow from Wings Plus. For Tom Denenberg, little salad there. How come you bring Tom a salad? Because he's trying to lose weight, and I'm ballooning up like an elephant again, and you bring me all the fat. I'm going to eat a lot of celery, okay? I'll eat the celery. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Wings Plus is here. Boy, isn't that great? 11:43 as I'm finishing this little cheeseburger because it was going to go to waste. Isn't this incredible? Now, the audience, you are witness to this, okay? Yesterday, did I eat anything here? Nothing. Zero. I survived. No problem. I went to my mother's, had a great dinner. Boy, she had an incredible meal last night. And that was it. And Denenberg brought me in some Nutrisystem food to get me started again this morning, and look at this. Arnold comes in with all these little cheeseburgers and sits down 2 boxes in front of me, which I only had 3. I'm in the process of finishing the 3rd one. And now Wings Plus shows up, and they brought enough food for 4 armies, okay? Enough food for the whole American League, including Wade Boggs, who does eat red meat. I just don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Seriously, I don't. Here's a collect call from Baltimore. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
All right.
I think the operative word is fat.
Fat, huh?
Fat.
I got a mouthful of sprouts myself.
Sprouts?
Yeah.
Boy, you ought to meet Jarrett, boy. You sound like birds of a feather.
No,
I think bird is the operative word, too.
Anyhow, bird's gone. We can talk about baseball.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I talked to you last week.
I got news for you. When he comes back, we'll talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about, okay?
Okay.
And if he doesn't like it, there's always the Joey Reynolds show.
Anyhow, I was talking to you last week, and you were telling me somebody was talking about how the Orioles were going to fall into last place.
Well, he was a little ahead of himself. That was Ed Kaplan on QAM.
Yeah, well, gosh, they're on their way, aren't they?
Well, they lost 6 in a row now, right?
It sucks.
But they're still 4.5 ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible.
Isn't that the biggest lead in any division?
Hey, listen to this, Neil. This is great.
You didn't answer my question.
Oh, what's that?
Isn't that the biggest lead in any division in baseball?
As far as I know, that's what they're saying up there.
Trust me, yeah. So even though they've lost 6 in a row, they're still 4.5 ahead. And you know Toronto's going to choke.
Yeah, well, possibly.
So it'll be pretty interesting because that's the weakest division by far in baseball.
But they'd be contenders in any division.
Whatever
with
you
their
say.
record, right?
Well, that's that American League. You know, I'm not into that Little League stuff.
Yeah. Me neither. I'm a Braves fan and a Cubs fan.
There you go. How about those Braves? Are they kicking some ass or what?
How many of
Did you see that game wait a minute, did you see the game that kid Smoltz pitched the other night, 2 nights ago, and he struck out, I think, 14 and lost the game? That was almost as embarrassing as the game when Sid Fernandez struck out 16 and lost the game to the Braves, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's like Texas last night. You know?
Yeah, Nolan Ryan struck out 14.
Yeah, and 4 others. Anyhow, listen to this one. Front page of the Washington Post, right? Excuse the traffic.
It's okay, no problem. We're used to it.
Okay, good sound effects, anyhow. Listen, they've got a picture.
Sounds just like our show from Chicago is going to sound. When we're standing out there on the street because the bar is closed.
Anyway, they've got a picture of the Washington, D.C. police marching these prostitutes to the Virginia state line, right? I mean, there's like dozens. Page 16, they've got pictures of the prostitutes getting in the taxi cabs to come back to their working post. I found it rather amusing. I thought you might like to hear this D.C. humor.
Great. Well, that's Washington for you.
Yeah, well, I haven't...
You know, most of those politicians up there are a bunch of whores anyway, so it fits right in.
They say the prostitutes go from walk across the street to another precinct when one precinct's harassing them. So they just walk across the street and they don't have to mess with it.
Great. Well, that's the way to do it. Listen, have a wonderful life.
Okay, I'd like to say hello to Hitch down there, and hope everything's going good and everything's as hot as it is up here, because it's miserable.
It is.
Good talking to you.
It's so hot you could fry eggs on your brain here. That's what Ricky Ticky said.
Is that right?
Okay, have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
11:47 at WIOD, and thanks to Rick Alpo for coming in here, helping us out, get rid of some of this food. No, I'm not. I'm on a diet now. Oh. Why? It doesn't bother Denenberg. And look what it did for him. Made him into a celebrity. You want a plate? Look at that. We got plates. We got utensils. We got everything here. It's like Neely's Kitchen. But get this food. I'm serious. I'm getting sick just looking at it. What? You know, seriously, look at all this. Man, well, too much. There's nobody else here. It's just me, and I'm not eating it anyway. But I'm sure I don't want the guys from Wings Plus to get hysterical. It'll go to good use. Okay? I'm having one piece of celery, and that's because I'm stuffed. I'm stuffed. I wasn't hungry to begin with. And I don't want any of this to go to waste. So all you prima donnas and the rest, I don't know what's going on with them today. Please help us out. It's like I have to beg these people now to come in and eat. It used to be we used to have to beg them to stay out of here till we got at least 1 or 2 pieces. Now we have to beg. And the chicken wings are not red meat, so where the hell is Jarrett and the other people in the newsroom, okay? Where's Dorothy and Henry and Laura? Little Laura? And I want to mention again, it was not Laura's fault. It was not. She's not the one that wrote that idiotic copy that said Mike Koskowski. That was Coleman, right? Wasn't that Coleman's fault? Let's all blame Coleman because he's brain dead. And he's not here to defend himself, okay? Thank God. Boy, when he comes in this room, I just get hysterical. He always asks me these idiotic questions, and it's always like a multi-part, like a jigsaw puzzle, okay? I want to talk about Nutrisystem right now. Couldn't think of a better time because everybody's in here filling their fat face. Okay, now that caller on line 8 is probably gone by now, right?
No, I'm still here.
You're still there?
Yeah, I'm going to stay till lunchtime.
Boy, it must be boring as hell up there, huh?
It is. Well, there's nothing to do right now.
Must be all the guys are in the shower now, huh?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, they're probably not letting you in, right?
No, I don't want to go in, trust me.
Okay, well, hold on.
All right.
Oh, he's even more paranoid and insecure than he was before he left for sleepaway camp. What the hell are we going to do with him? Maybe we can send him with Steve to get some therapy. Okay, here's a call from Lynchburg, Virginia. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
How you doing? Boy, you sound depressed.
Yeah, because, you know, when I was home, when I was at my parents' house a couple of weeks ago, you know, I called your station engineer, and I asked him, like, if there was some kind of radio I could pick up your station in Virginia.
Yeah, sure.
And he told me, I got this radio that, you know, picks up London and Cairo and Rome and all this.
Yeah, but that's shortwave.
Yeah, shortwave. And I can pick up, you know, WIOD at night. You know, I can pick up Larry King, you know, like I can't already pick him up in Virginia. But,
yeah,
you know.
You could go over and see him.
But, you know, nothing during the daytime, so I went and spent $300 for this radio.
And it doesn't work.
Well, it works. I can pick up Rome. I can pick up London. I can't pick up Miami, though.
Why do I get the feeling there's like an echo on this call? You can't pick up WIOD. We're not on shortwave.
I know.
You could spend $3,000 on a radio. You're not going to pick up WIOD. Of course, Johnny Dark would tell you otherwise. He would tell you that we come in loud and clear like in North Carolina, you know.
I pick you guys up in Jacksonville.
Really?
But you know,
I understand we're big in Jacksonville. I understand they're having a little Klan rally up there today in honor of the show. That's just a rumor.
Well, you know, it was pretty bad. You know, and tell your producer, whoever, he was worried that I was you know, Jerry pays for this call. You know, I'm at work right now.
Who pays for it?
Jerry.
Does he?
But don't tell anybody at all.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, I'm sure he can scrape it up.
Yeah, well.
He'll just go on and beg again for 10 minutes.
Well, he does that all the time. You know, he's probably, they stopped doing his daytime TV shows. So
I heard that Jim Baker used to beg for more than 10 minutes. That's what it said in that story in Penthouse. But that was another story, right?
Neil, you're terrible.
I know, I'm a bad guy, just honest. That's the problem. People can't deal with the refreshing honesty on his show.
Well, I didn't mind
like Steve yesterday when we were honest about the fact that his topics are repetitive, monotonous, and are killing the show and killing the ratings. He just couldn't deal with that.
Well,
so he tried to say that we were picking on him, which is a rather juvenile way of approaching life, isn't it, sir?
Well, you know, I listened to Steve for 2 weeks when I was home. But, you know, I like Steve and all, but too many abortions.
Exactly. That's all I said.
And, you know, Steve's a good guy and everything.
He's a great guy. And then that guy that called in yesterday said that I hated him with a passion. That was the biggest crock of crap. I don't know where that comes from. I don't hate Steve. I mean, there was one time in my life when I did, and he knows that. But I don't hate him. I don't dislike him. I just have, I don't trust him. You know what I'm saying, sir?
Yeah. Well,
he's a wonderful guy, but he just always look him straight in the eye.
Well, I miss Steve, and I miss you. I miss the bird, but, you know, Stan, he needs to get a job. You know, there's an AM station up here. You can send Stan up here.
In Lynchburg. Well, I'll call Stan right after the show, okay?
All right. Well,
he'd be great up there, wouldn't he?
They're looking for a board operator in the morning. Hey,
perfect. Right up his alley. Okay, listen, this call's been exciting, but, you know, life must go on.
See you later now.
Okay. It's 11:55 at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward, 524-9463, 524-WIOD. If you're a Cub fan, don't be bashful, okay, because you know who isn't here, and starting as of this week, you can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about as long as I'm interested in it, okay? That's the name of the show. If I'm not interested, you'll be going like lightning. Here's Joe in somewhere.
Hey, Neil.
It's the real Joe.
It's the real one.
Well, what the hell are you doing on this line?
As opposed to the fake one. I don't know. What line am I on?
You're on line 3. You're in Dade. Are you in Dade?
No.
Huh?
No, I'm in Broward.
Oh, but you're in Pembroke Pines, right?
Right.
So you can call this number for free.
Right.
You got that, whatever, that measured service, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that's good, because we don't want to run you up a big bill, because we know you're making big bucks.
Oh, yeah, right.
In fact, STEM up at Sleepaway Camp said that they got an opening up there for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll be sure to inquire.
Okay.
Oh, so since the bird's not here...
Of course, you know, when STEM says there's an opening, you're never sure what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Since the bird's not here, let's talk about how great the Braves are doing.
Yeah, they're kicking some real serious ass. They lost again last night, right? 3-2, was it?
Oh yeah, 3-2.
Mm-hmm. But
See,
they're playing them tough.
Yeah, it takes the pitcher for Atlanta to get a RBI that makes them tie the game up.
Yeah. Well, we do that too. Kilgus got an RBI last night. He drove in the second run, which is a miracle. He's only had 2 hits all year.
Oh, yeah.
And the day before, Bilecki, beautiful squeeze bunt to knock in a run. So our pitcher, and Maddox, has been driving in runs all year.
Yeah. Well,
so that's part of the game plan.
See, that's the Braves team, though. We got people like Darrell Evans and Bruce Benedict who who are batting like 190.
Well, Bruce Benedict, I think, died about 3 years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell his problem
And nobody
is.
told him.
Now it takes like 40-year-old people like Lonnie Smith to do great.
Yeah. Now, they got some pretty embarrassing guys in that lineup.
Yeah, they do.
But as long as they keep the Murph in there, they're okay with me.
Yeah, me too. But,
really?
Well, they beat Montreal.
We didn't know, Joe. Is there something you want to tell us? It's just a joke. It's just a little joke.
I was by your house the other day, but...
well, how come... Now, wait a minute. You were by my house, driving around?
No. I was eating dinner at the house across the street.
What, my new neighbors?
I guess, yeah.
Well, where the hell did you meet them?
Well, because they're friends with someone I know, and, that kind of thing.
Wait a minute. What's going on this line now? That must be the CIA tap on Joe's line.
Speaking of which, I caught an old lady trying to take my unbelievable bumper sticker off.
Really?
You believe that?
Well, you got more problems, man. You got people following you around and calling you strange calls at home.
That's okay. It's the Indiana Jones life. I like it.
Boy, it's pretty exciting, man. Now, you're not working at that movie, are you?
Yeah.
You're still working there? I thought you had a different job.
I do. I got 2 now.
Oh, you got 2 jobs?
Yeah.
Boy, that's great. Keep you out of trouble.
Well, that's all right.
How come if you were right across it, was I home?
No, you weren't.
What time of day was this?
This was at night, and both cars were gone, so I didn't bother knocking.
Well, did it ever dawn on you that I have a garage?
Yeah, but it was like a Friday night.
Oh, no chance. I go to shul on Friday night.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm in temple. I'm for hours.
Right.
Praying for anything. Well, listen, it sounds like you're out of material, Joe, which is unusual. You're usually full of it, but I guess not, huh?
Well, the bird's absence has,
yeah,
made me lose it.
Kind of cut into your material. Well, listen, stop by sometime if you're in that neighborhood, because we're desperate to see you.
Well, all right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay, see you, Joe.
We'll talk to you.
Okay, well, Joe. The one thing about Joe, he always sounds like depressed. I mean, right on the borderline, and not as depressing as Carlos. But Joe always sounds like borderline depressed. Anyway, we have an open line in Dade County. I guess that's it for our celebrity caller, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to take off.
Well, it's really a shame, but you're always one of these hit-and-run guys. He comes late and leaves early, so to speak.
Is WJNO on shortwave?
WJNO, you can hear the Leaf Holler show. Just open your window up.
All the time.
Open a window up in the cabin up there.
Yeah,
are you like in a cabin?
Not really, because it's an old hotel.
You're in an old hotel, huh?
It's like an old hotel.
And how many guys to a bunk?
Like 4.
Yeah, I believe it. Okay, listen, have a great time.
All right, I'll call you later on tonight.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Okay, there he goes, the mysterious STEM who just continues dazzling us, and we're so grateful that he's away at sleepaway camp till the end of August. Boy, it's like a real vacation. Okay, Chuck Meyer, who's gesund and puppig now after a little lunch here, has got the 12 o'clock WIOD news. I bet they didn't feed the news people like this in Seattle, right? And we're going to come back with hour number 3 at 12:05. Steve, who's going to apologize for everything this afternoon. Open phones at 2. My best friend Hank Goldberg at 6. And the Yankees at Cleveland at 7:30 tonight.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd.
Okay, just a little bit at a time. Okay, 12:06 at WIOD. Now, what were you saying, Cheryl? Okay. I just wanted to check. And Todd is here today, dressed like a New England berry farmer or something. I don't know what the hell he's doing. And we're just having a great time. We heard from Stem from Sleepaway Camp. We heard from Joe with 10 N's and some of the other chronic Salieri's who make the show what it is. And in the meantime, look at that. Didn't this happen yesterday, too, right? Right around noontime? Right at lunch. They crapped out on us. We got a couple of open lines. One in Dade, one in Palm Beach, which is pretty depressing. How's the wings, Todd?
Good, very good.
Great. Outstanding. You should have, like, the heavy garlic ones, because that'll make hair grow on your chest. It'll be great. Although I'm not into hairy chest. Good. Well, let's see. Okay, let's go to Hollywood. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Look at that. Todd's taking his clothes off, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Yesterday you mentioned the poll conducted by South Florida Magazine. The magazine is not on the newsstand yet. I understand dorky Tony Segreto was voted best.
Now, why would you say that about Tony? He's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine. Not my best friend like Hank Goldberg, but he's a good friend, and he's great.
Well,
Do you think he's dorky?
Giggles like the bird.
Well, no, you're true. He's silly, but he's good. He is silly. You're right about that.
If he could just do it straight, he knows his stuff.
Well, I think he does it straight, but then again, that's his business. I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, it's kind
It's
of
not my type.
It's kind of a giggly station anyway. But
Yeah, Channel 4 has become increasingly giggly. There's no question about that.
Yeah, it's romper room.
Especially since Anna Squeak started doing news there.
Well, the whole thing is starting to look like romper room. It's baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that reflects the mentality of America, so I think that's probably why they're doing pretty well.
No, they're not doing well. So
Aren't they? Are they doing poorly? Well, it's probably that weather guy, that guy that's got the weather map on his face.
He's the worst. He's a joke.
I mean, I can count to over 100, but I could never count high enough to count all his zits, I'll tell you that.
He's just terrible, and he's so
He's horrible.
smug. He's smug with all his little asides.
Yeah, and he doesn't know anything about this area, and he knows nothing about the weather, and he's not funny, and he sucks.
I worry what'll happen to us if we ever had a hurricane.
Well, forget it.
But what?
You'd be watching Channel 10, I guess.
Oh,
Or 7, of course, with our good friend Bob Soper.
Yeah,
Well, he'd be hysterical if I left him out.
Oh yeah, no, Bob Soper's a good guy.
He
but
is a great guy.
Yeah, he does a good
He knows
job.
nothing about the weather, but he's a great guy.
I think the word credibility is the operative word here. But that.
Wait a minute. Who's a licensed meteorologist? Soper? Well, I know Soper is.
Yeah, well, the other.
Cliff Morrison?
No, he's not he's the only.
All right. Now the lady said he's not. Nick says he is. Well, it doesn't make any difference what he is. If he knows something, he's keeping it a good secret, okay? Because he has a very difficult time conveying what the hell the weather's going to be.
He was unemployed before he came.
Well, it looks like it.
He came because he was a friend of somebody at the station.
No question about it. And they gave a real screwing to Bob Weaver, who's a good friend and a great guy, and they stuck him in the morning.
Right.
And they put this douchebag on there at night.
Yeah, well, Weaver is like the ultimate weatherman, and that's why I called. I wanted to see if you remembered who was voted best weatherman in South Florida.
It was Don Noe and Bob Soper, and Weaver got the worst.
You're kidding.
And I ripped South Florida Magazine. In fact, I have a copy that just came in today, and I'm not going to open it. And I don't want them to consider me. I mean, I got Best Radio Personality again this year from South Florida's readers, and that's very nice. But when you're listed on the same page with such outstanding people as that idiot that writes for the Herald that everybody thinks is such a great... That yokel, what is his name? I can never think of his name. He got Best Columnist. You know, that yokel with a high-pitched, whiny voice that everybody raves about? Oh, Dave... Barry, yeah, Dave Barry. He's terrible. He's a yokel.
Yeah, no, he's good, but he appeals.
No, he's not good. He's not. He's an idiot. He thinks he's funny, and he's just a yokel.
Well, he used to be funny, but now he's trying too hard.
You could see the way that Todd is licking his fingers in here, man. It's the most disgusting thing I've seen, and it's almost erotic.
At least he's not licking your fingers.
Well, that'll be next.
Okay, that's what I called for. I'm
Okay.
disappointed in the results.
Well, listen, it's South Florida Magazine. Like I said, I don't want anything to do with it. Their readers are on no-dos or something. I mean, it's pathetic.
Yeah, well,
If you could see some of the restaurants that got votes in there, you would, for example, the best hamburger, they voted Fuddruckers, okay?
Oh, really?
Now, every time I've eaten there, I've gotten sick to my stomach. I have, like, the green apple quick step for about a week after I go there.
Well, but it's too bad. A lot of people will go by that.
No question about it.
They shouldn't do this, especially where people's livelihoods are concerned.
Exactly, just like voting me best radio personality. No question, I can't hold a candle to Steve. It's not even a contest.
Yeah, right. Well,
I'd like to hold a candle to him on fire. Not just a little joke, Steve.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thanks a
Don't
lot.
take it seriously, okay?
Yeah, thanks.
It's just a magazine.
Yeah, right.
And not even a good one.
No, it isn't.
See you later.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Boy, she was a little hysterical. It's 11 past noon at WIOD. We have an open line in Broward. So, Tony, stop giggling, okay? You're a great guy. You're a good friend. But you giggle too much. Of course, he's not as good a friend as my best friend, Hank Goldberg. I mean, I like Hank. He's a friend. He's a great guy, but I almost never see him. And Steve comes on yesterday. Oh, Hank is Neil's best friend. Then he rips him on, Steve, I think perhaps an overactive imagination is what the problem is. Could that be it? He just... He needs something. He needs a good sidekick. That's possible. And I have just the guy we might loan to him for a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? who's on vacation right now, to give you a hint. Anyway, it's 12 minutes past noon at WIOD. Now, your brother's going to come in and be sidekick, isn't he? Boy, I would sure go for that, especially if he'd come in naked. Anyway, let's talk about... Now, see, that's just a little joke, okay? Your brother happens to be a nice-looking guy with a great body, and he's sensual. Let's talk about Siam's. They put a lot of thought into these logs, you know what? What they do is they put all the spots in a hat, and they pick them out. Kind of like the way Tom Birch does the ratings. Boca.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
Great show.
It is?
It is. It's nice when you can do what you want.
Yeah, when I can do whatever the hell I want, and I don't have to put up with some eccentric douchebag sitting over here getting all hysterical and...
You're like a calm day at the ocean.
Yeah, well, I was calm till Troy came in. I'm starting to get a little hysterical, but I'll do my best.
Listen, I have a quagmire. You know those robberies they've been having at the
restaurants, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're a patron and you're eating dinner and you got robbed, would the guy after the meal... make you pay for it?
I would think so, probably to make up what he lost, yeah.
I mean, like you're sitting there and you don't have any more money, and then the bill comes. What do you do?
That's a good question. Maybe we can take a poll on that tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Maybe Lee Fowler can take a poll on that this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean...
Would you pay or not?
Yeah.
Huh?
What happened?
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm confused.
Well, it really indicates to me the fact that you have... been thinking about that. It indicates you got a rich, full life. You know what I mean?
Well, I was playing golf yesterday, and I was on the golf course, and it's like...
And it just popped into your head.
Yeah, it struck me.
Because I haven't, quite frankly, really thought about that at all, but the fact that you bring it up now shows me that you've been listening to Steve, I guess.
No, I didn't listen to Steve yesterday. I didn't feel like hearing him fetch all day.
Well, he had an interesting topic yesterday for a little while, till all the calls stopped, but no, it was pretty good.
Hey, did you happen to catch... you don't watch Larry King, do you?
No, God forbid.
And, well, last night he had Mort on. Mort's giving his farewells and goodbyes.
Yeah.
And when Mort left...
Mort Downey.
As Morton cut off, Larry...
You don't know Mort Downey?
Huh?
Yeah, Troy said he's heard of him.
Yeah. Who are you talking to, Todd?
I'm talking to these guys here who are busy taking their clothes off. Listen, sir, don't muscle in on my time, okay? This is a chance of a lifetime.
Yeah, well,
I almost forgot what it's like.
They're not looking for a job real hard if they're sitting there looking at you.
Well, real hard I don't think is the expression based on what I've seen, but we can find out.
I don't know what kind of job they're looking for.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to find out.
No, but as last night on Larry King, as Mort goes away, then King sticks in this statement, well, I know, Mort, I've been your idol for many years.
Yeah.
And he didn't let, Mort was already gone when he said it. So I was a real surprise.
Well, wait a minute. He said he's been Mort's idol?
Yeah. He said Mort Mort was... Wait, let me get it right here.
I think, are you a little confused, pal? Just a little bit?
You don't come any better than Hank Goldberg.
Right. Who's my best friend, by the way.
You guys go out and play hardball together?
Absolutely, man. We go everywhere together. Well, I wouldn't say hardball because I don't think Hank is capable. But, I mean, just about anything else.
And maybe a little squash.
Little squash.
Okay. Well, that's about it.
In fact, Hank was eating a little squash in here for dessert last night after dinner.
Hank's good on
Hank is great. Hank's a great guy. Steve's just looking to create trouble again. You know Steve. He's a professional troublemaker and a psychotic.
They ought to get rid of Zagacki. And I'm telling you, Hank could have like a sports entertainment show and it really fill in the nighttime well.
Great. Well, I'll suggest that to avoid Gary, okay?
Okay, my friend.
Have a great life.
See ya.
Okay, boy, there's a guy just totally in the bag. 1243 at WIOD. We got an open line in Palm Beach County, 655-9463, 655-WIOD. And let's go to Miami. Hello.
How you doing, Neil? Chucky.
Hey, Chucky.
How the hell are you?
Boy, it hasn't been long enough. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah, been a hell of a long time.
Yeah, at least a couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, let me take a break, because if he sees my name on the screen, he'll hang up on me, so that's why it took a while to call.
Wait a minute, who'll hang up?
Nick, or you, or the pájaro ese, the bird guy.
Why are you? The bird's not here, Chucky.
Yeah, I know that.
Why don't you try to calm down, take a couple of Valiums, and just relax?
Well, the thing is, the Mets are winning, Neil, and when that happens, I'm excited.
They are?
So to speak.
Well, wait a minute. What happened
yesterday?
Chucky, what happened last night?
Oh, okay, so we lost one.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make it up when we go to Chicago, though.
Well, easy for you to say.
We'll see, Neil.
Yeah, we sure will.
Maybe you want to make a little radio bet or
something?
No,
I don't bet on ball games, okay? I'm not some kind of a degenerate like Pete Rose that has to bet on ball games.
Yeah, he's history. And I do.
What do you mean he's history? You don't convict the guy yet. He deserves to be heard.
I think he should still be put into the Hall of Fame, but with a little caption, gambled or something,
Yeah.
Just so that people
with an asterisk, yeah.
Yeah, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Neil, good luck in Chicago. Have a nice time. It's a great city.
Well, we'll sure be thinking about you, Chucky.
Yeah, especially when they win.
Trust me.
Okay, Neil.
See ya.
Boy, boy.
12:44. Another one of those Mets fans, man. They just can't deal with reality, can they? They just don't want to face the facts that they suck. 12:45 at WIOD. I mean, they're not like the Reds, but you can't have everything. Reds are going to make a comeback. Now, didn't Paul O'Neill get hurt? Got some kind of an injury, a hangnail or something? He's out for a while. He's one of the only players they got. He's the best ball player on that team, isn't he? And, well, Larkin's also hurt. You see? There's a good alibi for losing 9 in a row. Man, they're all injured. They're wounded, mentally and physically. Here's Danny Jackson is great. He gave up only 6 runs in the first 2 innings. He's terrific. Got an earned run average higher than my age. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Since you're talking about those pathetic ball clubs like Cincinnati and the Mets, you forgot to mention my favorites, the Tigers.
Oh, hey, I want to tell you something. Like I said, consistency is what life is all about.
Oh.
And they have been so consistent this year, man. They've been in last place almost from the first day. What was it, 10-0 last night?
No, they won last night.
Or the night before
the
was 10-0.
night before it was 10-0. Morris got shelled and.
Yeah, Morris really is great, isn't he?
Oh, it's been.
What did they give him? About $6 million a year, so he could come out and go 3-20 or something like that. He's terrific.
Well, he was here in West Palm a couple of weeks ago, rehabilitating in Single A, and he pitched pretty well. But that's against
Yeah, in Single A. That's
Class A guys. So I went to my first Cubs game last year, opening day against the Pirates. It was about 13
Troy
degrees.
just reminded me that their Single A team is in Lakeland, but of course he could have been pitching against Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
Right, he was pitching against West Palm.
Against West Palm. See, so don't start getting hysterical, Troy. You're jumping all over the caller.
Yeah. Come on,
He said
Troy.
you misled the listeners and you're full of crap, and he wants to hang up on you immediately. He's already doing a talk show.
Hey, he's going to get like the Bird here pretty soon.
He could have the Bird's job in about a month, I'm telling you.
But I'll tell you what, Wrigley is great, and don't have any worries about being there at 9 o'clock because I didn't have any tickets. Me and a couple of friends of mine went. My girlfriend and another friend of mine. We got there real early because it was sold out. It was opening day. It was about 13 degrees. I mean, it was cold. And there were people all over the place. I mean, it was just like it's great. You're going to love it, Neil.
What do you mean there were people all over the place? What the hell does that mean?
They were hanging out.
Hanging out. Yeah.
They were, let's rephrase that. They were.
Sounds like my kind of crowd, hanging out.
There's about 15, bars and pubs around there and restaurants, and people go in, they have lunch, and it's great. It really is a nice atmosphere because it's like right in the middle of a neighborhood,
Exactly. In the middle of a dangerous neighborhood like Tiger Stadium where you get mugged on your way from the parking lot to the stadium.
Take my word for it. It's nothing close to Tiger Stadium. Tiger Stadium.
I love Tiger Stadium.
Tiger
I love
Stadium is great. It's the greatest ballpark.
I love when you park like about 4 blocks away and a little kid comes up to your car. Watch your car, mister. Watch your car for $1. And you give them $1 and then they just totally rifle everything out of that car. Boy, Steve looks neurotic today. Look at that. He looks extra neurotic. Are you ready for an exciting show? Why are you taking your clothes off, Steve? I mean, I've got Todd and Troy in here already. I mean, I'm well taken care of for today. Go ahead, sir. You were on a real roll.
No, you don't have any choice with the $1 with the kids because if you don't give them the buck.
Exactly. Well, if you don't give them the buck, then they just totally demolish the entire car. If you give them the buck, they just steal the stuff out of the glove box. Oh,
yeah,
that's true.
exactly.
That's true.
It's just the
kind of like when you park your car at Calder.
I've never.
No, that was just a little joke. Okay, that was for my friends at Valet Parking who get hysterical when they see me.
So, what's the best thing about Tiger Stadium in your opinion?
The best thing is that every seat is a good one. It's close to the field, and you can almost reach out and touch the players.
You can.
The only problem is the Tigers are all so ugly that probably nobody would want to. That's the problem.
Trammell. I saw Trammell.
No, they're all ugly, sir. Trust me. Trammell's an old man. He's about 100 years old, okay?
It's not
now,
bad.
the Cubs, if you could reach out and touch the Cubs, then it would be a different story, okay?
Well,
I don't want to mention Greg Maddux and Mike Bilecki or Mark Grace, but then, of course, some of our listeners would start hyperventilating. Or Ryan Sandberg. We don't want to leave Rhino out.
So
okay, listen, have a great life.
Okay, I was just going to say, you're going to have phone lines up there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, you'll be able to call in and make fools out of all of us.
Well, have a great time.
Okay.
Talk to you.
See you.
Bye.
Wow, 12:49.
It's the 1 to 2 hour.
I'll be happy to look in the camera now and say I never bet on baseball and I never bet on Cincinnati Red baseball.
Okay, good hearing from you, Pete. It's 106 at WIOD. And what can I say that we haven't said before? Did they give me any cash to go up to Chicago? Todd, you're in a dream world. Don't you think I might have a little left over from the check just to go up and gamble? You know, Sportsman's Park. It's not going to be... In other words, you're wondering if there's any left over for you and Troy. Is that what you're saying? Sure it is. Anyway, I don't know what kind of guys we got in here. We have an open line in Palm Beach, 655-WIOD, 655-9463. It's a big 1 to 2 hour. If you missed the show yesterday, the lightning round is history because it degenerated and deteriorated into crap, didn't it? It sucked. And that's not my fault. That's because we had a bunch of pinheads out there, okay? Miami, hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
Great.
Good. I was listening to the show.
Well, that's good.
And
that's usually a good thing to do before you call.
Yeah, true. I just wanted to make one comment, and to me, as I've been listening to the show since you got on this morning, you've been cutting down the bird. Now, I'm not really totally sticking up.
Are you serious? I did that?
Well, I think you did.
By the way, why don't you guys drink this soda? There's only 1 cup there, but I'm sure you guys probably shared more intimate things than that. Go ahead, sir.
Because I think Bird did a fantastic job.
He does a fantastic... Wait a minute. About the vacation?
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about...
He does it while you're there.
What?
He does a great job when you're both together.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
But it sounds like you were cutting him down.
I am cutting him down, sir, because he wants to take over the show. Don't you understand, sir? There's like an insurrection going on here, and he wants to talk about Phoebe Cates' breasts 4 hours a day.
Well,
Her breasts aren't big enough to talk about 4 minutes a day, okay?
Well, that's...
Even 2 minutes on each one would be a lot. Would be stretching it, if you pardon that expression.
Well, yeah.
It's not a major deal. We're just trying to find a way to bring him back to the Bird that he used to be. Don't you understand? It's not a big thing. You don't have to have like a breakdown over it.
Finding a happy medium.
Okay.
One other question, real quick.
I can't hear a word he's saying. Could you? Go ahead, sir.
Because I'm talking with a bad cold.
Okay.
I had called, I guess it was about a week and a half ago, and you said you were going to listen to some tapes. Did you get to listen to any of them?
Next week.
Oh, so you didn't listen to them?
Not yet.
Okay, because I sent one, and I just wondered if you got a chance to catch it.
No. Took a chance to catch it?
To listen to it.
I was in Amsterdam, so I had plenty of chances to catch it, sir, but I was very careful, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I was just wondering if you happen to get around to listening to it.
Next week.
Okay.
See ya.
All right.
What the hell was that? Boy, there's a guy who's really got his life together, doesn't he? Here, speaking of that, here's Veggie from Boca. Boy, it's been a long time.
God, has it been a long time.
Thank God.
How are you doing?
Great.
Jeez.
It's really something to hear your voice again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to say what, but it's really something.
I figured, I'd leave you alone for a little while, so maybe you'd be interested in talking to me
I got
again.
news for you, Veg. I've been left alone for a long time. That's the problem.
No. So, what's new?
Good call. Great call.
Wait, hold on. No, I know. I'm glad you're back, honestly, from vacation.
I have no life.
Yeah.
No, really. I really can't wait to see what's going to really happen Monday because, do you think Glenn's listening to any of the show? He can't. Right? He's in Las Vegas.
I guarantee you that all of his Yenta friends are going to be on the phone. I said the other day his answering machine is probably loaded already with messages and with all kinds of hysterical, urgent warnings.
I never realized just being a little bird could be so complicated.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Do you think he's going to be, coming in there real ticked off?
I got news for you. If he comes in ticked off and he doesn't respond well to my urgings about the, going back to the Bird that he used to be, then we got people sitting and waiting in the wings here, if you pardon that expression, ready to take over his job at a much reduced salary.
But you don't want to get rid of him, right?
No, I didn't say that.
No.
Although, no.
No. Okay. Are you there?
I'm here. I have no... See, you're starting something that isn't there. Like the guy called yesterday. Why did you fire him? Well, that's not what we're talking about. I wouldn't do that on the air.
Well, no, I don't think you should fire him because look at...
Of course not. He's great.
Of course, like Johnny Carson and Egg McMahon, they've been together for years.
Egg McMahon, yeah.
Could be together for years, too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, listen. I don't want to take up...
He's full brother to Eggs McMuffin.
All right, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you again, Neil. I'll talk to you
Well,
soon.
you were really good. You were brief, and you're saying goodbye, and now you're a classic example. You're just like what we're trying to do with the Bird. Just a little reform act, and you're on your best behavior, right?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent.
So what I'll do is, when do you want me to call you again? Next year?
About a year from Shavuos, okay?
All right, you take it easy.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, it's 11 past 1 at WIOD. Time to talk about the melting pot right now. It's been rated 3.5. Okay, well, listen, for the right price, we just won't mention that. 114 at WIOD. Boy, these are a couple of pretty, for guys from Plant City, they're pretty wild guys. You know what I'm saying? Pretty wild. No, seriously, back there, don't they spend all their time in church in Plant City? Well, no, the rest of the time there's a bar across from the church, and they kind of go back and forth. That's just a little... Plant City is kind of like a strange place, isn't it? Like a little, they tend to be a little clannish there, don't they?
No, not at all.
With a K? Oh, with a C. Strawberry capital of the world. That's great. A lot of fruit in Plant City. Okay, let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Boy, Mike, Miami.
Hey, nice hearing from you, Mike.
Philip Lady, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, he's doing a little routine on the bird show when I was on vacation. Miami, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil?
Yes.
Oh, this isn't Miami. This is Boca, I guess.
Well, it says Miami on here, so trust me, it may look like Boca, but you're in Miami, okay?
Miami.
When you open a window and hear all the Espanol coming in the window, you'll know you're in Miami.
Sir?
See?
How long I waited to talk to you? A long, long time.
Well, you sound a little Latin to me, sir, are you?
I am.
Well, there you go. See, so you're in Miami. Don't tell me you're in Boca.
No, they wouldn't let me in there.
You're not the guy that called Steve yesterday, are you?
No.
I'd give anything if that guy would... No, well, I wouldn't give anything, but I sure would love to hear from that guy, that insecure guy.
Oh, no. I don't talk to Steve. Forget
Why
it.
not?
I only talk to people I listen to.
Oh. You're not going to rip Steve, too, are you?
Oh, no. He was...
Please, because then he'll come back in here again.
He takes over like the bird take over the job.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. I got a couple of things up. You see, you're ripping off the birds and everything. You have a right to do everything.
But,
okay, don't forget that when you got a whole bunch of pinheads calling in, the only person with an IQ over 2 that you can turn to and talk to is a bird.
Right.
So that is kind of a relief for you. Right?
You don't understand. He still does a great job. All we're trying to do, it's not everybody gets so emotional about these things. All I'm trying to do, and I believe in doing things the nice way first, okay? And then you do it a little more strenuously. You try to emphasize your point. And if that doesn't work, you finally have to be brutal, okay? That's the only way you get the job done.
That's right, bro.
And I've tried doing everything in my power to convince him that we're not going to just limit the show to what he's interested in, which by the way, is a very narrow scope. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I sure did.
Yeah.
But let me tell you.
Basically, it's what's her name? The one that was at Power 96. What is her name? Vanity. Vanity and Phoebe Cates. And other than that, there just isn't much there.
Did he ever show up at Power 96?
Did he what?
Did he ever actually go?
Yeah, he was there when I was on vacation.
He did?
Yes, on the Don Cox show.
No, you, man, right?
Which is a fireable offense.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I just naughty to the business. That's how that worked. Anyhow, listen. I hear you playing that Casey and the Sunshine Band CD. Is that a CD?
Yeah.
I tried to get CD. I can't get it anywhere.
It's very tough to get, and it was made in Germany, believe it or not. I don't know what the hell it was all about.
Gee, I went to your friend's specs. They did a great job trying to find it, but they don't have it, and nobody else.
What the hell did I do with it? It's not. Is it in this bunch here? Can't find it now, sir.
Okay, it's okay. I just wanted to know that whether he had a CD that I can actually look for. I guess harder than try to find it.
Oh, here it is. It's just a second. One moment, please. It's Sunnyview Records, and it says manufactured and distributed by Bellafon, West Germany. But it's a great CD. It's the best of Casey. It's got Get Down Tonight and Boogie Shoes, and That's Why I Like It, and Shake Your Booty. It's got all the great hits.
I used to listen to that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So kind of bring back memories.
Well, maybe I'll give you Casey's home number. I've got it at the house. He was at my house the day we did the show, the morning show for my house about a year and a half ago.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Listen now. Okay, finally. Right?
So if you're a good-looking guy, maybe I'll give you Casey's home number.
No.
It's just a joke, Harry.
Okay, listen. Finally, right?
Yes.
So now Steve can come over and take over your show, whatever he wants. But let me tell you what. You keep talking about Steve, that guy has the biggest ego.
Well, we know that, and he knows it too.
Listen to this. You don't recall, perhaps you will.
His ego is bigger than Debbie Ellis's butt.
I haven't heard this in your show. I've been listening to your show for the whole week since I'm on vacation, and I can actually listen to you. The guy went like 2 or 3 weeks on the same subject when the NFL went on strike.
I remember that. He milked that desperately. I remember that.
And he kept going on and on, just like abortion.
Like this call, yeah.
So, I mean, what can you expect from a guy like that?
Right.
Going over and over and over the SST. You recall that, right?
You'll be listening this afternoon. You know it.
That was thunderous.
Let me say it again. You'll be listening to every minute.
No, who's this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir, but
Listen, you're just quoting me chapter and verse of everything that he's done in the last 2 years now. You know you're going to be listening.
No, you're wrong. I used to listen to Steve.
Right.
Okay, because I didn't know anything about Stan Meyer at that time.
Right, so now you're listening to Stan.
No.
What do you got, like a direct line to his house?
No, to be honest with you, I listen to it on and off, very more often
On and
than
off.
anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I can relate to that, sir.
Well, more
On
often
and
than
off.
anything else. but
That's
then
right, more off than on. You're right.
And it was great, and I tell you what.
In closing, yeah.
Okay, if they get Stan to go on 2...
They're not going to get Stan. Steve isn't going anywhere, and Stan isn't going to work here. Trust me. You can bet your life on it, okay, sir? Trust me.
That's not good news, anyhow.
Well, I'm just telling you. I can either lie to you and make you feel better, or I can tell you the truth, okay?
Well, if WQAM...
All right, listen. If it'll make you feel better, Stan starts tomorrow, okay, 2 o'clock.
No.
Okay? Seriously. Okay? You feel better now?
Yeah, I feel
okay.
better.
Have a great day. 20 after 1 at WIOD. See, you have to tell these people what they want to hear. That's the problem. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear certain things, and you've got to feed them a line of BS, okay? And Steve will be doing that from 2 to 6 this afternoon, open phones. And then my best friend, my very best friend in the world, Hank Goldberg, will be on Sports Talk at 6 tonight. Steve, where did you come up with that? About Hank is my best friend? You said that yesterday. Oh, now don't come in here again. I got to do a spot. I got to do a break, and I'll get way behind. Hank isn't I barely know Hank. He's my best friend? Steve is making guttural sounds in the other room. Anyway, Steve's going to be sorry to see me leave Friday for Chicago. He's going to be just hysterical. We want to tell you about Charhut right now. He just kind of like muscled in on the show. That's right. That's the way you have to do it. You have to like inject your presence and then you don't leave. That's true. That's the way that Glenn got started on the show. He just started hanging around, didn't have another job, and he just started cackling in the background. Then he expected to get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys just kind of like hang around and keep taking an increasing amount of your clothing off every day, and God only knows what could happen. Could work into a budding career. Maybe not in radio, but you never know. Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yeah.
I got a 97 GTR spy report for you.
Oh, wait a minute. Jeez, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Does anybody know... Oh, and just the perfect guy to check this out is Fat Rich, okay? Because if Rich doesn't get it done, he'll beat the crap out of him. We need to find out if they got the Who tickets for Joe at Florist. No, I'm serious. I mean, like it's not a choice. Like, they promised the guy these tickets months ago, and the last I heard, he hadn't gotten them yet. So Bill Wise or Boy Gary's got some that he's hiding in his somewhere, you know what I mean? In other words, like if he stood up, they would fall out. You need these back? Whose are these? Christina. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Good old Christina. Okay, go ahead, sir. I got to light my cigar. Go on.
So they have this like oxymoron thing that they do in the mornings, like things that sound like what they are, but they're really
Who, like
not.
Herman and McQueen?
Yeah.
Moron is the definitive word for that show, sir.
Exactly. So one idiot calls in, some pinhead calls in, gives them the oxymoron, the best of Neil Rogers. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty low blow, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. What did they say?
Disgusting.
What did they say?
Just that. As an oxymoron, the best of Neil Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's almost as disgusting as their sliding numbers over there at GTR. Almost as disgusting as the filthy crap that they say on the air in the morning over there on that show.
Exactly.
Yeah, in fact, we got a guy who comes in at 10 o'clock when they leave the studio over there who disinfects. He brings in like Lysol spray and disinfects everything in that studio. I'm serious.
Out of material.
Okay. See you.
Later.
Boy, there's a guy who, he knew when he was finished. 26 past 1 at WIOD. We have an open... No, we don't. Look at that. Boy, these lines this week, since the bird's been gone, the phones have been great. You think that's just a coincidence? Miami, hello.
Neil?
Yeah.
I was wondering if Carlos is still on hold, if you would be able to put us through.
I don't know. What line was he on? He could be, something. Let's see. No, he's gone.
He went?
Gone. Yeah. Well, he had to get his label machine going again.
He's not working.
He takes a portable label machine with him everywhere he goes. He's just got to have that sound going, or it's like a security blanket.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for on.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Listen to that. One of Carlos's friends wants to do like a little personal call here on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Don't be lonesome, pal. He'll be back in 3 weeks. Let's go to Miramar. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
Terrific.
Now, let's talk about the Cubs.
All right. Now you're talking, sir. Now you're talking about a real honest-to-God ball club.
I know. And I used to be a Mets fan.
Yeah, well, it's never too late to reform.
No, I have reformed. I'm now an avid Cub fan, and I can now stand up proudly and say that the Mets suck.
Exactly. I didn't want to say it myself.
Anyway, Mitch Williams looked good from what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
I've got his rookie card, and I've got money from that now.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. He's got 25 saves now. He leads the league. He gave us a little scare last night. He got the first 2 outs in the 9th inning, and then he walked. Let's see, he walked a guy, and Leon Durham, of all people, got a double, but then he got out of it.
I love it.
Oh, no, as a matter of fact, then they scored a run. He got a sacrifice fly, made it 4-2, and then he got the last out.
Love it.
It was shocking.
Matter of fact, you might remember me. I met you at the remote at Toyota Hollywood.
No.
And I told you I had the Steve Stone and Mike Bilecki cards.
Really?
That helped.
Not together, though, huh?
Yeah. 81 Steve Stone and an 88 Bilecki.
Fantastic. Well, Bilecki's been really looking good. Pitching, too, I mean.
And all that to go along with my Andre Dawson autographed baseball.
Boy, Dawson made a good play on that last ball in the 9th inning last night. He had to run a long way to get that.
Unfortunately, I can't see that. I got storage.
I don't want to make you feel bad, but if you would have seen a play that Dunston made at shortstop last night, it was the most incredible play. I've been watching baseball 35 years, and it was a high chopper on that artificial surface at Busch Stadium, and he came racing in, and in midair, he barehanded it and threw on one hop and got him. It was incredible. Never seen anything like it.
I'll probably see it on one of these plays of the week things.
If Dunston would play only against the Cardinals, his baseball card would be worth $100. I'm telling you. I mean, he's just incredible against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
He's 10 for 20. He's got 3 home runs against the Cardinals.
Unbelievable.
I would say so.
All right, let me also say that I was also hoping Carlos would be on because I'm another one of his friends.
Really? Gee, I didn't know Carlos had so many friends. That's 2 now.
We used to go to school together before I graduated Miramar High.
Can I ask you a personal question about Carlos? Because he's a nice guy, but there's something that bothers me about him.
Go right
Why
ahead.
does he always sound so depressed?
I have no idea.
But doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Always has that real... In fact, Joe also that called before. Joe from Pembroke Pines, who's a good guy, but he always sounds real depressed.
Oh, Carlos, I don't know about how he's so depressed. He just seems that way.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's a Mets fan.
Oh, yeah, that explains it.
So that could be it.
Okay, have a great one.
All right, you too, Neil.
See ya.
Bye.
Now, what did you find out? There are no more Who tickets left. You know, I want to tell you something. I even went up. I was sitting with Boy Gary and with Mr. Dizzy, with the douchebag that's the general manager up in the front, Walt Disney's brother-in-law. And I was sitting up there in the office last week. Oh, we were talking about this ill-conceived trip to Chicago. And I reminded them, because they were talking something about Who tickets, and Disney pulled out a pair and gave them to... They were throwing them around like old baseball cards, like Don Mossy cards, okay, that nobody wanted. And I said, by the way, Joe over at Florist, we have promised, and Bill Wise has promised him a pair of these tickets for like 2 months. Because remember when Florist used to send all the food? You remember. Well, you don't know. You just ate it. But anyway, I mean, just tons of food. They used to feed the whole building time and time and time again. They're great folks. They love us. And the guy begged for them, and we promised him no problem. And I was nervous about this, wasn't I? I was because I knew that Bill Wise, as usual, is full of crap. No matter what he tells you, it's an absolute falsehood. And lo and behold, we've come to it's Wednesday. The concerts are the Who concert's Sunday. And it's Wednesday, and the word is there are no more Who. Who told you that? Boy, Gary. I don't think I'm going to Chicago. I think I'm going to boycott. I think I'm going to protest. What is this? A memo? There will be a Who meeting in the conference room tomorrow. This is a mandatory attendance. This is all the GTR staff. Who told you there are... This is the same guy who told us that Cliff Morrison is a meteorologist, okay, which he's not. There's a what? Scott Schwartz has tickets. Well, but wait a minute. That doesn't solve our problem, though, does it? I don't give a flying leap about the people at GTR. They don't need to go to the Who concert. They're already stoned out of their minds anyway. They don't need to go to the concert for that. The meeting tomorrow is at 11 a.m. in the conference room. Oh, that's right. You'll be here tomorrow. You'll go in there and appropriate a couple of tickets, and if they don't give them to you, you'll squash somebody's head, right? Boy, this place, man, like I told you, the slogan ought to be, we lie a lot at WIOD. Boy, they've got more people here who tell tales and make up crap and just, oh, sure, no problem, we'll have them for you. Don't hold your breath, okay? As Pete Rose would say, don't bet on it. Boy, I can't believe that they would do that to Joe. Joe, we're going to do our best, okay, pal? I can't make any promises, but tomorrow we're going to raise holy hell here, all right? And if they don't come up with the Who tickets, I won't even take Troy and Todd to Chicago. How do you like that for a threat? Okay, it's 12:30. What do you mean, what did he want? They just send us stuff, don't you understand? They send us all this idiotic crap. I don't know. It's like all the rest of the mail. It's well-intended, but a bunch of crap. Anyway, it's 12:35 or 1:35. I'll tell you another great thing about no lightning round is now I don't feel like we're kind of like backed up against the wall. This last hour is like more relaxed and not hysterical and obsessive. Wait a minute. What do you mean Char Hut? Didn't I just do Char Hut? Oh, geez, I missed that earlier. Boy, I can't believe that. I can't believe they did that to them again. Whoever makes this log, I hope that the bird of paradise drops everything he's got on your brain, okay? Miami, hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
You know, it's really a shame that those guys at Florist aren't getting those tickets, because the day that you did the show, right after you said it on the air that they were going to get the tickets, I was in Florist getting lunch.
Yeah.
Those guys were really excited. Yeah.
And not only that, but it was how many months ago? It's got to be at least 2 months ago.
I thought it was years.
Yeah, seems like it.
But, you know, if Bill Wise is any kind of a businessman...
But he's not. He's an asshole, okay?
Well,
he's just an absolute asshole, and he comes in here, oh, sure, no problem, I'll take care of it, and that means forget it. That means he's not in the least bit interested, man. He never follows through on anything.
Well,
he makes me sick.
You can give him a way out.
And the next time Spike Wise comes in here to try to promote that stupid, idiotic, drug-oriented radio station of his next door, we're going to shut off the mic, okay?
Neil, tell him to give those guys. There's so many tickets floating around outside the stadium. Tell Bill Wise to give those guys a blank check.
Yeah.
And they can pick up lots of tickets.
I don't understand what this is. Maybe this is worth something. That stamp that this idiot sent me in the mail. Check it out. You guys might be able to retire on that. What is that, sir?
Tell Bill Wise to give those guys a blank check, because there's lots of scalpers.
Bill Wise ain't going to give anybody anything except a headache, okay? Trust me.
Well,
he's a pain in the ass, he's an idiot, he's a douchebag, and he makes me nauseous.
I'm afraid to go to Flores now because I think they're crying.
Well, they're going to hate us now, and it's not my fault, but, you know, we promised them, and we did it with best of intentions, and we thought that we could count on these people in the building to come through. I mean, they had, because they're sponsoring the concert, right, GTR?
Yeah.
So you know they had jillions and jillions of tickets. In fact, when I was in Disney's office, he and Boy Gary, the conversation was, oh, we got plenty of tickets. They're all over the place. I heard that with my own 5 ears, okay? So trust me, everybody inside the building is sucking up these tickets, and they're all going to go there and have a great time. And our friend down the street who's been so nice to us, see how we turn our backs on our friends.
Well, but I don't think you're going to blame you, though.
I'm not going to Chicago, I'll tell you. Unless he gets those Who tickets, I'm sticking around here. I'll hang out at Todd and Troy's house.
Well, you know who's going to be in the bar at 9 o'clock in the morning in Chicago?
Who's that?
Well, you know, like we guys that work 9 to 5 go to happy hour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like security guard happy hour. They work the graveyard shift, 12 to 8, so there's going to be a bar full of security guards.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That sounds exciting. That's what I've always wanted to do, is a show with a bunch of guys who are security guards.
Well, you know, it could be...
But we sure will love flying those planes up there, I'll tell you that, on Midway Airlines.
Listen, Neil, you want
Just too bad we're not going to someplace where there'll be some people. What's that?
You want to blow the bird's mind?
What's that?
Like Tuesday when he's really bent out of shape from Monday's show.
Yeah.
Pretend like you're trying to ease up a little and say, you know, like apologize a little and say, listen, let's talk about Lakeland. And then start rattling off the roster and the stats from the Lakeland Tigers.
No, we got a better one than that. Our two guests here today, who just kind of like are muscling in on the show lately, they're going to be here on Monday, just sitting here in the two empty chairs that are usually empty, except when Fat Rich is here, just to piss him off, just to make him paranoid and insecure.
Well, you don't think that I'll drive him away, do you?
What?
Seeing a possible substitute?
Well, it'll make him real nervous, I'll tell you that. I know definitely on personal experience.
Speaking of nervous, you're talking about the Cubs' late season schedule that would make it easier for them to win the division?
Yeah.
Aren't you really nervous that Gary Carter is off the disabled list?
Hey, that gives me more confidence than ever.
Yeah.
In fact, you noticed the first game he came back, the Mets lost last night. And that could have been the best thing that happened to them to keep them in a race was when he got injured.
Well, remember, there are no coincidences.
That's correct.
Take care, Neil.
Have a great life. Yeah, boy, it's going to be rough now that Carter's back in there with his 125 average. He is incredible, especially with that great arm. I think he threw a run around about 2 years ago, wasn't it? Wasn't the last one about 2 years ago? I think it was a pitcher. Let's go to Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
just the other day while I was getting the early bird special, I heard you were cutting down Glenn while he was on vacation. Well, why do you do these things?
I don't know. I can't help myself.
Well, that's just terrible.
I know. Have a wonderful day.
All right, dog.
140 at WIOD, 20 before 2. That call was from Sunrise, by the way, in case there was anybody who had any doubts. Let's go to Palm Beach. Hello.
How you doing, Neil? That was incredible.
Wasn't that good?
First of all, a couple of somethings.
Yes.
I think the greatest thing you've done lately is gotten rid of that lightning round.
Yeah, that was really beginning to get ponderous, wasn't
Very
it?
old, very old.
Very old and very poor taste, you know?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with the public. You give them an inch and they want a mile. That's what Troy said in the last hour.
Anyway, back to the Cubs. So you've never been to Wrigley Field. It's definitely experience.
Experience?
Yeah, experience. With the bleacher bums out there, especially for a weekend series with a rival like the Mets.
Yeah, well, it's going to be jam-packed. Every game is a sellout.
And you were talking about how close Tiger Stadium was and how you could reach out and touch the players. When you get into Wrigley Field, you're going to be shocked because it looks like a Little League ballpark once you get in there. I mean, with the ivy on the walls, it makes it look like center fields around pitcher's mound. It's really incredible. And if you get a chance for a late afternoon lunch break or whatever, there's a place in Old Town over there called the Pickle Barrel. And it's just an incredible place. It's an old-time tavern over there. And it's a great place to go out and get a late bite to eat.
Yeah.
Late afternoon bite to eat. But I know you'll probably have your time limited out there. Anyway, that's all I had to say. I'll cut it short. And
We'll cut it short. Well, that's what the rabbi said when I was born, too, and that's the worst thing that ever happened.
Well, have a good trip. And
Okay.
see you later.
Have a great life.
All right.
141. You think it's a joke, boy. You'd be in tears. 142 at WIOD. We have an open line in Boca. 278-9463. 278-WIOD. Well, that's one of the prices you pay for being Jewish. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Hi.
How come you keep letting Steve interrupt your show like that?
Well, you notice it was real brief today. Did you notice that?
Yesterday was terrible.
Yesterday was an abortion, if you pardon that expression.
I have a question.
And for a guy who's against abortions, you'd think he'd cut it out.
I have a question.
See, you mentioned his name, and the minute you mentioned his name, boy, he came in the studio over there. It's incredible. He's got like antenna
I was going to say,
sticking out of his ears now.
Is his life so exciting all he can do is hang around and be a shadow to hear
Well,
what
no,
people
he
say?
comes in around. He's getting ready to do that show. He's doing his homework and preparing that contrived controversy. He comes in about 12:30, 1 o'clock.
I mean, it's a repeat. How much does he have to get
Well,
together?
don't start ripping him now. He's got 4 open hours. Call him
But
and
it's your
rip him.
show, Neil. You're so good at people.
No, but listen. See, I don't like these butt kissers. I'm not calling you a butt kisser, but in other words, if you want to rip him and tell him that he's whatever, he's got 4 open hours today.
Yeah, I know, but he doesn't let you tell him.
Well, you've got to be strong, okay?
Yeah.
Even when he hangs up, you have to still keep talking.
I just think it's your show. Tell him it's your show, and if he wants to talk and rant and rave...
Isn't it amazing how, like, everybody wants a piece of this show?
I know, it's your show.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little piece. That's what I've been trying to tell
there
everybody
isn't.
here, but they don't agree.
But it's your show. Tell him to stay out.
Okay. She said, stay out, it's my show, okay?
That's right. Okay, Neil.
Now, what about Todd and Troy? Can they hang out?
Can what?
Can they hang out here?
Yeah, because they don't try and encroach.
No, because they don't say anything.
They don't say nothing.
Which is the way the bird ought to be again. Just sit around and shut up and get paid and go home, right?
He steps all in whenever he feels like it, and it's your show. And, Neil, everyone that knows your show knows that when enough is enough, you'll tell them that. So tell them.
Yeah. Well, enough is enough.
No, like you do.
I
Give
know.
them some of the Neil charm.
I know. Okay, have a great life,
You
okay?
do.
You going to be all right?
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
144 at WID. She sounded kind of like interesting, didn't she? We have an open line in Dade, 751-9463, 751-WIOD. You might call it. You're never going to get on because we don't have time for that many calls, but it'll be kind of fun to see it light up again. Pompano, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Look at that. It's ringing out. There's no chance. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Yeah, man.
Hold on. Did you answer it? Put that there it is. Now, you know you're not going to get on, right?
Yeah, how about that, Neil?
But it's worth it, isn't it?
You better believe it.
Yeah, but you actually did get on.
I know, it's incredible.
So I faked you out, right? All right, hold on. I might go to you next because you sound like you got something up your sleeve.
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay, well, don't let it out. Okay, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm with you, Neil.
Wait a minute, I wasn't talking to you, was I?
Yeah, I hope so.
I was?
I think so.
Are you sure?
I doubt it.
Okay, whatever you say.
No doubt about it.
Was I talking to this caller? No?
No. You with me?
Who was I talking to? Boy, my Alzheimer's is acting up real bad. Go ahead. I got you now. You know, I'm stuck with you.
Great, lost and gone forever. I got a curious thing. All last week when you were there, and this is not Rip the Bird routine deal, but all last week they were saying, and back to the Neil Rogers and Glenn Hill show.
Yeah, we've already covered that, sir, and the cart has been destroyed. We burned it right on the air.
How the heck did you have any knowledge of this? Or they
No, I wasn't aware of it. I'm pretty damn pissed off about it, too, sir, okay? And it better never happen again or I'm going to burn the building down.
You know, if it's
Well, it's that boy Gary. It's our program director. Don't you understand? He came in on a bus from Louisville. They picked him up at the bus station one day, hitchhiking, and he's here now, you know?
Neil, tell me something if you can, real quick and easy. You know what I find? I'm in a service business. I get a lot of calls from radio stations wanting to have my service and my product brought in, and they want to trade it for advertising. I can respect that. The barter system is a very old system.
Right.
It works great.
Right.
But they seem like the people in the business are an out-and-out bunch of liars and whores.
Whores, I think, is number one. Liars just like kind of secondary. Goes with the
All they
territory.
want to do is rip everything they can out of my pocket and not see anything from me, and just all they want to give you is their airtime, and obviously airtime is money. But
right. See, a lot of people think that prostitution is illegal in this country. They know nothing about broadcasting.
Yeah, right. I can see it. You know, I listen to you, and I turn around and say, you know what, I made a wise move. I've had a lot of, like I say, about good 4 or 5 stations, major stations turn around and say, this is what we want to do, and whatever. And I turned around and said, nope. The last one, in fact, happened to have been Y100 just after they did that with Sonny.
Really?
I had no idea what really had happened until recently when I heard about it, with you guys. And said, boy, I'm really glad, because if they turn around and they stab their main people in the back, what are they going to do to a little, a lowly service company like myself?
Exactly. They'll really give you a screwing like you never saw. No question
really
about it.
sad with Florist, because I go in there a lot. And
Listen, I am just foaming at the mouth about that. I'm not joking. And if they don't take care of Joe down at Flores, Disney can do the show from Chicago. I'll just go see the ball games, okay? I just won't show up at the bar.
You're an employee there like everybody else, maybe not. But why don't they give you a pair of tickets, which you hand to him?
I don't want any of this. Well, that's an idea. Yeah, suppose I say I want the tickets. That's a thought. Good thinking. Okay, thanks a lot.
Have a good one now.
Well, that's good thinking. You have to be dishonest and devious like they are, and then you can do business with them. Were you on the line?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, he was such a good call, I had to go to him right away.
Neil.
What?
Listen, who's Mike Disney and who's Boy Gary?
Wait a minute. Was I talking to you before?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't do it twice in a row.
Who's Mike Disney?
Mike Disney is the general mangler who is totally lost, hasn't got any idea what planet he's on, and Boy Gary is our program director, the one who came in on the bus.
Is Mike Disney your boss?
Yes.
Well, how could you call him a douchebag?
Because he is.
Yeah, but is all this a bunch of hype?
No.
Directly, a few months back, when you had some make-believe restaurant going to deliver some food for you.
Yeah.
You were waiting, and Glenn.
Yeah, you're probably the guy You're probably the guy who set that up, aren't you?
Florist saved you.
Let me say it again. You're probably the guy that set that up.
No. I remember directly. This guy, whoever.
Sir, have you ever heard the term non sequitur?
No.
Well, that's what this call is full of. What does that have to do? Sir, will you shut up a minute and listen? What does that have to do with Mike Disney?
Because I just want to know who Mike Disney is, because Joe was very good to you.
That's right.
Very good.
Well, what do you think I'm upset? What do you think I'm upset about?
That's the guy.
If your voice gets any higher, sir, they're going to be convinced you had the operation. The same one my dogs had.
I don't know. You should do something to boycott that. About going to Chicago.
We're going to play a dedication for this guy. You're an old smoothie, okay? 148, 12 before 2 at WIOD. I promise you, sir, when we come back from this break, you're going to be it.
Hey. Neil.
Is that okay?
Sure. I thought that was Mr. Tremor in drag there.
Boy, that was incredible. That was kind of a drag, all right. All right, hold on. I see you didn't even think you were going to get on, right?
No, not at all.
And now you've been on twice. You're becoming like a miniature celebrity.
I'm a chronic.
Kind of like Tom Denenberg, a little tiny celebrity. All right, hold on a second, and we're going to talk about Charles eating around in his business. I can understand it.
Oh, yeah.
If we ever started doing that, he'd accuse me of ripping him off, so I don't dare do it.
I listened to it a few minutes today, and one guy called, and he goes, some guy was on the phone. He goes, don't ever let that guy call again. He goes, he's a chronic. His name's Bob from Pompano.
Oh, my God.
So
Boy, he hasn't called here in a long time.
Bill's got him now. Anyway, what the hell was I going to say?
No wonder he's been a little ill.
Yeah, he sounded real bad. He was choking and croaking.
No, he's a lot better. Boy, Saturday we went to the track. I thought he had pneumonia.
Yeah.
He was gasping and wheezing and choking, and most of his horses were, too, as a matter of fact.
Did you get stuck on that one that Hank the other night was telling me about? He bet a horse, and they ended up scratching it, or no, disqualifying it. And he said he He lost a lot.
Oh, you know something? Hank is always crying, okay? He's always crying. My best friend, Hank Goldberg, he's always crying about losing. The audience doesn't care about that. That's why they call it gambling, okay?
That's right.
That's what Pete Rose said. He said, you know, if you're going to plunge your brains out, you expect to lose a good part of the time.
Well, you hear that article
especially
there
on the Reds.
about, well, Ted Williams was the only guy that really said, you know, what he did on the field, you know, that's why he should be in the Hall of Fame, and all these other guys were really giving it to old Petey.
Were they?
Oh, yeah.
Ask me if I care whether Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame. As long as Harry is in there now, we're in good shape.
That's right. You know what? And they had that thing on ESPN the other night. They didn't show 1 second of Harry Caray.
Yes, they did.
They did?
At 8 o'clock.
On ESPN they did?
Oh, yeah. They had a lengthy segment about Harry. It was great. In fact, it was better than the special that WGN did at 9 o'clock. It was terrific.
But from the Hall of Fame ceremony?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
because...
well, no, they didn't show his speech.
Right,
but
that's
they
what I meant.
They had a great feature on him for about 15 minutes. It was terrific. It was the longest segment of the show.
Oh, I didn't see that. I was watching all day, and they didn't show anything about his speech. You know,
8
that's
o'clock.
What I wanted to see.
Well, the speech, to be honest with you, you didn't miss much. They showed that on GN. It wasn't too exciting.
I bet you Skip was real proud of
He was there, and Chip, his grandson, was there.
Skip, Chip, and
Flip, yeah. They got 3 generations of Carries doing sports.
I like Skip, too. He's all right.
He's good. I like him.
You know, you have the
I
same...
feel sorry for him, boy, being there with the Braves and with Ernie Johnson. Boy, that's really a fate worse than death.
You have the same nasal quality as he does. Not, you know, nothing derogatory, but I mean... You
I
guys
have a nasal quality?
Well, you know, just how your voice...
No, I really?
You know, resonate. No, you don't, you know, not like me, but like him. And, I'll be listening to Hank tonight, see what he has to say about those horses. Maybe he can come up with a show.
Oh, if he starts belly aching again, man, in fact, call him up and give him a hard time, okay? Tell him that's why they call it gambling.
Yeah, he was trolling for food the other night, too.
In fact, I shouldn't tell tales, but Nick Gonzalez up at Calder, who's the PR guy, when Bill Calder and I were up there a couple of weeks ago, he went on at great length. And, of course, Nick is the kind of guy who's kind of a boring guy. He's a nice guy, but terminally boring. Never says anything. He went on for like 20 minutes about Hank keeps calling him at home and belly aching. He can't cash at Calder, and he keeps losing here. And he ripped the hell out of me because I got ripped off for $8 in valet parking, and you know, like I wasn't supposed to tell that when my money was stolen.
Yeah.
But if he's up there gambling, nobody is forcing him to bet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if he's plunging his brains out, good luck to him. Those horses got to eat.
Yeah, Bill was even crying the blues this morning. He said he didn't catch the ticket yet over there.
Well, I got news for you. Calder is he's always the same. He'll go for weeks, he'll never cash, and then he'll hit some ungodly perfect. He'll have like a $5 perfect, and he'll pay about $600-700, and then he'll have gambling money for another 4 weeks. Then he'll go another month, he won't cash your ticket. That's Calder. He's done the same pattern ever since I've known him.
He's got a bet like that guy that called from in 12-1, the guy that was a friend of the jockeys when he goes $2 on a show.
That's the